welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen, and joining me this week are Rhys James, Kerry Godliman and Ed Gamble, Sindhu V, Hugh Dennis and Tom Allen. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what could possibly be going on here? Well, clearly the audience have written their own.
Yeah. That bloke, presumably, is going, what has come over you, Nigel?
The man on the right saying, well, if you can't eat a fruit corner properly, young man, it's straight to bed with you.
He's wearing a rosette, so he's just won first prize in standing under a massive pigeon contest.
Is this Nigel Farage straight after one of his special dreams about a no-deal Brexit?
Nigel is probably going, well, at least I haven't been... Oh, shit.
Is that lactose on the intolerant?
Is he saying, this isn't what I meant when I said I wanted to meet a big Geordie bird for messy fun?
Ironically, he's been hit with fast food, you know, considering the Whopper he told about how easy it was to leave the EU.
It was actually, the food was from Five Guys. Do you want to make a joke about that?
Yeah, I have.
He just got milkshake, didn't he? That's what happened to him.
Yeah.
It happens all over the place.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very, very much, Hugh. You're absolutely right. Yes. This is leader of the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage, in Newcastle, having just been covered in milkshake by a protester, an action which has been condemned by people on all sides of the debate, and us too, right? The polls have just closed in the European election when the show goes out. I know, it's so sad. Oh, I was really getting into it as well. The Brexit Party is expected to gain the most seats in those European parliamentary elections.
Well, you think with that shirt they would have thrown strawberry milkshake to match?
If anything, it should have been a chocolate milkshake, let's face it.
The whole principle of, you know, being a bodyguard doesn't apply to milkshake, does it? You're meant to throw yourself in... Do you think it will be reflected in the next series of The Bodyguard, where he has to look after someone who is lactose intolerant? Seems like a great...
I don't believe it anyway. I think this is a new right-wing tactic. Anytime someone asks you a question you don't want to answer, just get a milkshake thrown at you by one of your team. Going, Farage, did you take donations from Aaron Banks? Bring in the milkshake! I need the sun.
It is one of these things where you're allowed to be... have a dial on your outrage, I think, which is the thing that we tendency to forget. Everything is like, yeah, or no, yeah. And it's like, you have to condemn this entirely. And you got to go, yeah, of course we're condemning it. But you were condemning it, like, commensurate to it's a milkshake on the suit, like, whatever. You know, people going, oh, it's a milkshake today. But tomorrow, it could be, genuinely, it could be acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, OK, on a case-by-case basis, we will take that significantly more seriously. Oh, the milkshake today, but tomorrow, what if it's a ninja throwing star? Oh, you would have given him any right to condemn the ninja throwing star. What if the next week it's a grand piano in a catapult? It's an anvil on a rope. What?
Didn't McDonald's put up the sign saying, we're not going to serve milkshakes today?
They were told by the police in Edinburgh not to sell milkshakes.
Burger King tweeted to say, oh, we don't mind, we're going to sell milkshakes. And they're like some sort of, like, sassy friend outside the pub. You know, when you're drunk and trying to, you know, you go, like, I'm not getting involved, and Burger King's like, go on, I'll have a go.
Burger King, we'll hold your coat. How, by the way, did you see the Tory launch of their campaign?
Yes, yes. It was brilliant in Bristol.
Amazing. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Oh, it's like it's the finest photo of all time. It's great. It's like, could you imagine a sad...
There are no emojis that match these faces.
So amazing.
This man's face.
It's just, I mean, that is literally people at graveside. That is. And I know, actually, and Theresa May always wears very well-tailored things, very, very strong fashion choices, but for some reason, the sleeves being that short just makes it look even sadder. You wedge your hands into a child's jacket.
It looks like her shoulders are so slumped that her arms have started growing.
There was was no one here at this thing.
There's
no
one
one went,
journalist
no
on camera.
press, nothing. This was
Yeah.
all in front of no one. It was like a karaoke in a cupboard.
This looks like a team that's just absolutely fucked it on The Apprentice.
Yes, how have the Liberal Democrats, however, caught the eye during this campaign?
Oh, by still existing.
And they've got a bit of street cred, I reckon, because Vince Cable went on the Andrew Marr show and he said, I said bollocks to Brexit, and Andrew Marr told him off, which is right. He was just following medical advice, which is to check your bollocks. And in a way, I thought that was quite inspired because, you know, bollocks actually are very sensitive. They're very complicated. They're outside, but they're still attached. One is slightly larger than the other. So, in a way, it's a perfect metaphor for Brexit.
It wasn't that he swore, it's because he's old. Like, if it's like your granddad saying boner. Like, you don't... It's because he's
I want
he's
context of that story. I want context.
We need to hear about that dreadful Christmas.
But the Lib Dems have done so well because what's happened is, I remember once at there'd been a birthday party and there was a single piece of cake left and it belonged to my second child. And the first one said it belonged to him and she said it belonged to her. And then she said, no, you're an Islamophobe. And she said, no, you're an anti-Semite. And then the baby came in while they were fighting and just took the cake and went inside and ate it. And that's what Lib Dems have done while these two are fighting. My kids are not really Islamophobe or anti-Semite. I just thought it would give you some context.
It's good. I mean, it added to the story, but wow, it raised questions about your parenting. What about Labour?
Are they in it?
What about them?
They're here. They're in it. They're a part of it as well. Yeah. There's a picture of Corbyn holding a thing. Don't forget.
Don't forget May.
May.
Yeah, he's.
It's not the right election either, is it?
Yeah, the 20th... What is it?
It says that, but polling day is Thursday, the 2nd of May, is what that says.
Oh yeah, it is. That's
Yeah,
just...
and they did quite badly in that one.
Why has it not worked out for them, or why has it been difficult for them?
Well, Jeremy Corbyn decided that he wanted to bring the two sides of the Brexit argument together,
Yeah.
and he has united them because they've both decided they're not going to vote Labour.
It just feels like we've been driving forever in the middle of nowhere, and it turns out our navigator can't read a map and is also dead.
Yes.
You know, like, half of us wanted to go to the Lake District, the other half wanted to go to Cornwall, and then it turns out we're just going to have to go to Skegness. I don't think anybody wanted that.
I'm going to ask a question that I think we know the answer to. What piece of legislation is Theresa May putting to Parliament next month? And you're allowed 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
It's her bold new offer for withdrawal.
Yeah.
Presumably it's called her bold new offer because it's just the same thing but in bold.
No, she's calling it a bold new offer because she's preparing for her next job selling washing detergent.
It does remind you of when they changed the name of Jif to Civ. They're both going to end up down the toilet, aren't they? There's no good outcome.
This is Brexit deal with lime.
Just a hint of spring freshness.
I mean, how can you have a new and improved anything to do with that deal? I mean, that deal's the deal. It's a rubbish deal. It's like saying, we're going to give you new and improved menopause. I still don't want it. I really don't want it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's going to still leave me, you know, sweaty with, you know, weird bouts of fury, kind of like her bill. But, you know...
It makes me feel so sorry for her, though, for Theresa May. Because she has just... All she's done as Prime Minister is just have the hardest job in the history of the world. I mean, a job so hard that the Prime Minister whose idea it was literally immediately got off the grid. It's ridiculous. All she's done for 3 years, she's been criticised for absolutely everything, from her negotiating to her clothes to her shoes, right? And then she finally tries to get one bit of respite, one bit, but just going, look, I'm just going to have a break, I'm just going to go abroad, and I'm going to do the one thing that still brings me an ounce of joy, dance. And we're all like, oh, you shit to that as well.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Kerry and Reece. Now we play a round called Who Dares Wins. This game involves Tom Allen and Rhys James. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is race. Who wants to come on that?
I remember that day. The Interracial Arm Wrestling World Championships. I'm a white man. Thank you. I'm a white man, which means that a lot of people hate me these days. But I'm a white man, so it doesn't matter. Literally the same. Not just that, I'm a young, white, middle-class, straight man. In the game of life, that is what's called a royal flush. I hit the jackpot, OK? I got lucky as shit, so everyone thinks my life is easy. Everyone thinks I've got it simple, but that's because they don't know my struggle, OK? My day-to-day, the shit I have to deal with on a daily basis. Do you know how often I'm sat in a coffee shop and someone asks me to watch their laptop for them? Just let me live my life! Yes, I am trustworthy, but don't assume that based on my appearance, OK? That is still discrimination. And yes, in this Cafe Nero, surrounded by all these mums, I'm unlikely to steal your Dell computer when I'm clearly already using a MacBook Pro. A superior laptop. But don't get too relaxed. I could just easily steal that Dell and repurpose it as a gift for someone I don't respect. Hard part for me about being those 5 things, that royal flush, is being a comedian. That's the hard part, because you're constantly told art comes from pain, right? To make great art, you've got to experience pain along the way in childhood or whatever, then harness that pain, turn it into art down the line. But I don't know the meaning of the word pain. I've never experienced any true pain. First time I even saw the word pain, I was in a patisserie.
OK, that leaves us with Tom. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And it's food.
Oh, OK. Oh, very similar topics. I once went to a buffet in Reading, and that's not even the joke. It was organised by a woman called Wendy, and it was so beige. It was so bland. It was like a buffet representation of Reading. I looked across this buffet, right? They put out sausage rolls, right? Sausage rolls, right? Where they just whipped off the cellophane and put the corrugated plastic straight down on the table. Like we were dogs! Then we had Scotch eggs, right? Scotch eggs cut into quarters. Apparently, no one can eat a whole one. Then we had breadsticks displayed in a pint glass. I thought I was at a fucking UKIP rally. Then she starts putting down cold pizza slices next to wontons. No one's mixed Italian and Chinese cuisine like that since Marco Polo. Then she brought out the quadrant of dips. You know, the 4 dips. The 4 dips of the apocalypse. The white one. The other white one. Then there's a green one. What's that? Guacamole. Then there's a pink one. What's that made of? Sillet bang? Nobody knows. I was just glad to have something made of some sort of colour. Anyway, it was a terrible buffet, but thank you very much, Wendy.
There you go. Thank you very much. Points there go to Tom. Give us a back down again. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sindhu, which category would you like?
World news.
OK, your topic is world news. And the answer is 120,000. What is the question?
Is that what Donald Trump thinks a million is?
Is it how many times is Theresa May planning to bring back the Brexit deal?
Or is it how many of my family members were at my wedding?
Is that the year that we will leave the EU?
Is it what position in the job centre queue is Jeremy Kyle?
You know what? I mean, sounding oddly like a Jeremy Kyle audience.
How ironic. You've become the one thing you hate.
The second half of this show is just proving Dara is my real dad.
Dara, you should have put something on the end of it.
Like his mother.
Is it?
Is it how many times the Ecuadorian embassy have put Julian Assange's sheet through a hot wash?
Is it when Nando's say unlimited refills, how many refills do they mean?
Is it how many sex dreams I've had about that priest in Fleabag?
Good one.
Is it how many hours of television has Romesh done in the last month?
Is it how many times when I've referred to my other half was I actually talking about my bum and legs?
Is it what was Manchester City's goal difference? Tell you the best thing that's happened to me in the last week. A taxi driver mistook me for Jurgen Klopp.
When do we come in with the answer?
I know that other people may wish to. Anyone else want to come in with it? Or now that Tom's decided it all has to end.
How many Eurovision Song Contests before we win one?
How many views does the world's least popular porn video have?
In the history of the Jeremy Kyle show, how many guests have had one tooth?
Tom, do you know the answer to this?
It's the number of personnel that are thought to be sent by the US to the Gulf in response to Iran making moves on a war.
When you say personnel, do you mean soldiers?
No one thought they was going to send out a lot of typists. People do a bit of admin. Cover for Julie, who's off sick today with her ankle.
Yes, is there a more succinct... Do you want to...
Is it? That's a question. I know the answer. I read the papers, unlike some of you. Just come in with a shirt. Is it the number of military personnel the US are thought to be sending to the Middle East in response to Iran's recent
Oh,
actions?
no.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tom. The question I was looking for was how many troops is the US talking about sending to the Middle East should tensions continue to escalate with Iran? How did President Trump respond to perceived aggression in the Middle East?
By slamming his fist on the table like an angry baby.
He responded...
Hey, I'm walking here.
Am I wrong to say he responded by sending 120,000 military personnel?
Let's just scale this back. They haven't
hasn't
sent
them.
120,000, just in case we initiate
So what was
a
all
war
that about, then?
between the US and Iran.
That's why I said a thought to have sent.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I was absolutely right.
It's only
I was
famous.
absolutely right. There was no
Famously-
question. I thought that they were thought to be sent.
Yeah, but you've... Clearly what's happened, Tom, is you've not read the paper properly and you should have concentrated on getting a better shirt.
Moving on, what new feature on the phone app Snapchat has become the latest viral trend?
Terrible. It's that thing where you get to turn yourself into another gender.
Yes, that is an app that everyone has become slightly obsessed with the last one. And will not be obsessed with in 4 days' time. But nonetheless, finger in the pulse.
Everyone's just enchanted with their own image.
But is that it? I mean, because this is like the greatest virus, the greatest non-Game of Thrones, Avengers Endgame thing that's happened in the last little while. Yeah, your photo... Hang on, let me see if we can do this on a feed. Can you pull it up? And then I do...
Oh, no!
Oh, God.
What have you turned yourself into? Oh, that's that round head
Turn
filter.
yourself into Max
Okay,
Headroom.
right, I don't even know what...
Oh, yes.
I don't think I'm good. I don't think one of the cores.
Even with this filter, the hair is still sort of invisible.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Dara, you look like the Megabus man's wife.
I'm scared if I do it, I'll just look the same.
You're on the female one, so you have to bounce it.
Oh, I look like someone else.
Oh, that's the female.
That is what I look like if I don't pluck my face.
He looks like the sort of man who cuts his own hair.
That's really upsetting.
It is, and you know what? That's why I would never do that, and that's why I don't encourage any of my daughters to do it, because look, I'm from India. You know, we have great hair, not just here. So, honestly, I've spent so much on laser and stuff, so I never have to look like my brothers and never have a beard, and then you get this thing, and my daughters think it's funny. I'm like, wait till you're 15.
This is what I'd look like if I got paid 25% more.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh. Has anyone ever wanked over themselves? Reece, I look like your fit mum.
Reece! Real...
I've come to pick you up from school wearing my shortest skirt. Jailbait!
Well, aren't you the cutest little GCSE student? Oh, hello.
There you go. It is
Finally,
me,
you've grown
Ed
up.
Gamble. And if I go across a couple, it is me, Rob Beckett.
Give that round of applause to Ed, Kerry and Reece. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a sci-fi film or TV show.
OK, I've done it. The time machine is complete. Now, your mission is to go back to 1890 and milkshake baby Hitler.
Arnold Schwarzenegger versus R. Kelly. This time the predator is sexual.
We are the last survivors of a proud people, a people destroyed by a pointless war, by stupidity and incompetence. We are the Conservatives.
There's an alien in your stomach, but it has to stay there because that is God's will, and this is Alabama.
So I'm the blue Power Ranger, that's the green Power Ranger, that's the yellow Power Ranger, and over there is the white the Power Ranger who wears white.
Oh, the hyperdrive has blown, Captain. We'll have to get an Uber.
Luke, I am your father, but I can't prove it because Jeremy Kyle has gone off air.
I'm not sure what they are, sir. They're not humans. I think they are Kardashians.
Fire the photon ray. Ray, fire the photon.
Yeah, Dave, it is an amazing piece of technology sent from the future to facilitate our species. If you unloaded it now and then, you'd also know it was a dishwasher.
We're going to have to open up a wormhole and go back in time. I've just sent a dick pic to my dad.
Yeah, so the rent on this spaceship is about 4K a month, but there's a cafe that does a banging avo on toast. Anyway, welcome to the Millennial Falcon.
Captain, the galaxy has shrunk. Oh, no, I just got out of a box of celebrations.
Warp factor 9 in a warp 7 limit. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, my... It's a slimy creature. It appears to be humanoid in form. It's coming out of your vagina. No, I am not a qualified midwife. Sorry.
What's that? ET phone home? You'll be doing more than phoning, mate. Brexit means Brexit.
Oh my God, is that the Terminator? Oh no, it can't be. We live in Alabama.
Okay, our next topic is commercials that never made it to air.
New, nothing in a tin. Does exactly what it says on the tin.
It's 2 for 1 all week in Boots because nobody wants one boot.
Want to stop perspiration for 24 hours? Then do fuck all for 24 hours.
This memory foam mattress is perfect for a good night's sleep and for having sex with your husband's brother.
Mum deodorant for when your mum pongs a bit.
Do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Have you tried looking at boobs?
Do you want to leave your children a lump sum after you die? Me neither. So get on bet.com. Stick it on the horse.
I got my testicles trapped in a Dyson, and now we're both bagless.
Is your bed wet first thing in the morning? Have you got bird shit in your hair? You need a roof!
And now, in a break from usual advertising standards, the next commercial will not be voiced by Hugh Dennis.
The odds on whether I've got nodules on my vocal cords is on your screen now.
Do you keep falling over and you're not sure how to respond? Try TripAdvisor.
STD clinics, because you don't know what you've got till it's gonorrhea.
Why not indulge in our new Game of Thrones massage? It'll go on forever, and you'll definitely not get a happy ending.
Remember, when the fun stops, another bet may perk you up a bit.
Want a great way to lose weight that's also good for the environment? Die.
Lemsip Max, go to work, infect other people, no one will know it was you.
We here at EE would like to announce our merger with 3 Mobile. Welcome to 3.
I'm Nigel Farage. I say we cancel Brexit and show compassion to refugees. Oh, have a Snickers, Nigel. You're not you when you're hungry.
Wind chimes, for when your neighbours don't think you're enough of a fucking prick.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Kerry and Reece. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Cindy B, Hugh Dennis and Tom Allen. Commiserations to Reece James, Kerry Godwin and Ed Campbell. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
more comedy, Romesh is mulling over the week's most entertaining news. The Ranga Nation is with us in 3/4 of an hour. Over on BBC Three, the entire box set of Famaland's available now. May I suggest you save this for the weekend and have a good old binge.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Ed Gamble, Olga Koch and Tom Allen, Glenn Moore, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Why did she decide to moonwalk to the lectern?
Is it Theresa May proving that she can leave something?
Has someone just shouted, "We'll be glad to see the back of you," and she's taken it far too literally?
All I know is she's going to go into her house right now and take off her bra.
Genuinely the first urge to say, but it's like, oh, this thing.
You don't know what it's like.
I honestly don't.
And I do, and it is difficult. No, I think what she said was she was like, now I can listen to my favourite music, the country and western I love.
I think of some of those great country songs and I begin to cry as well.
It does look frighteningly like the door is still closed.
That would have been great if during the speech they changed the locks. You just see some bin bags flying out.
All of the letter flap opens from the inside and all of her clothes are just pushed out.
Is she going inside to regenerate?
Oh, it's quite clear she's going inside to meet Chris de Burgh.
Is she going in to say, oh, I can't wait to watch some daytime TV like that Jeremy Kyle? Oh, no! All the times to be out of work.
No. So at least you got Line of Duty. Oh!
Game of...
The Big Breakfast.
This is, of course, the first Mock the Week she has had time to watch since June 2016.
Yes.
Oh.
So if she's watching, I hope you realise how supportive and caring we have been over the last 3 years.
Does anyone know what the story is?
Is it Theresa May resigning as Conservative leader?
Absolutely right. Yes, thank you very much, Dan. Yes, this is Prime Minister Theresa May outside 10 Downing Street, having just announced her resignation. May will step down as leader of the Conservative Party on the 7th of June, but will continue to serve as Prime Minister until the Tory leadership contest has been concluded. This seemed to be the biggest question you had. Did you feel sorry for her?
Well, I feel sorry for anyone who's forced to make an announcement standing in the middle of a road.
At least she tried to look a bit sorry. I mean, I preferred her resignation to Cameron, who just looked smug. He looked like he was just giving back a hire car. Be one that he'd driven through a river. Full of shit.
His speech is here. Later is peeps.
I am originally from Russia, and I can't deal that resignation is even an option for a leader. Like, has anybody told Vladimir Putin that this is an option? This is on the table for him.
Because presumably you'd have preferred 12 hours of piano music played on the state broadcast.
And then a sweeping 96% victory.
Yes.
I'm glad she's not like Putin. We were 1 week away from her riding on a horse with no top on.
What do you need need a lectern? I don't understand that. You could do it with a bit of paper. If she's got a lectern, it always makes you think she's going to make an announcement with a glove puppet. I'm making an important policy announcement.
Every
Here
time-
to help me is monkey.
Every time you see something behind a lectern, you
in
think,
that
what
context.
university did you go to exactly?
Sooty University.
Yeah, City University.
Yeah, it was, yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was, yeah. Cambridge. Oh, are you also the head of Caius College or whatever?
I think you'll find it's pronounced keys. I'm terribly sorry. I just couldn't let that one go.
Was there any tempering of dislike for May's policies with the humanity of the moment on this side?
I think, I mean, you can feel sorry that she was in a difficult position, but I think I feel more sorry for the people of the country. It was an interesting way to cry as well. Like, just at the end. I've never seen anybody cry at the end where they go, the country, oh, I love... Isn't as sort of... You know, it's not like they do in films, is it? You never saw that in a wartime film. Like, by the way, oh, I love, yeah!
Maybe she just can't just say the word love. So even if she's at a restaurant, she goes, this is a type of curry I love.
So what is it about her distinctive style that we'll miss most, Theresa May?
Well, it's hard to say. Isn't it?
No one knows what she's going to do now, but all I know is she's leaving on the 7th. Love Island begins on the 3rd. Oh. And if there's a late addition to the house and no one's got someone to couple up with, then suddenly in she comes.
People do seem to be making fun of the dancing quite a lot, and I always feel like, well, that wasn't really the main problem.
No.
Like,
no.
It's not that, like, no one goes, oh, I can't stand that Robert Mugabe, but have you seen his Macarena?
It's weird that it was her emotion that everyone focused on at the end, given that that was literally the thing that was most obviously absent in the years that she was there. The human, the sense of empathy.
She
sense of...
saved it all up, right? She just saved up all her emotion until that one last moment. That's why she sounded so weird. Just years built up and then suddenly...
It sounded like the spirit leaving her. That's what it sounded like. There was a ghost in
She's been haunted all this time.
By the ghost of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
I found it weird because that's exactly how I sound when I come.
The country I love!
I'm very patriotic in the South. Yeah.
Or like any guy I've ever dated, she just can't pronounce the word love. It's a joke.
She's not totally without humanity, though. Of course, we remember the running through fields of wheat.
Fields of wheat, naughtiest thing she's ever done.
Naughtiest. I did feel a bit bad for her on that as well, though, because I thought, well, she can't exactly turn round and go, oh, the naughtiest thing I've ever done. Oh, well, I did once do heroin.
A little naughty.
I was at a party,
Russell Brand said, come for dinner. Yeah, like whatever.
I used to go around on a moped stealing mobile phones. That was pretty naughty of me, I guess. I punched an old woman in the face. She died. Oh, and I skipped through some fields of wheat. Yeah, that's...
Who threatened to upstage Theresa May at this most important moment in her career?
It was the lectern man.
Yeah?
Oh, he was so fit.
I think he gives a very unrealistic indication of what the average sound guy looks like. I mean, I think, especially the sound guys at Mock the Week are amongst the ugliest people I've ever...
If I were him, I wouldn't have been able to resist putting a little bit of super glue just on the top of that, so Theresa May would have had to do that speech and then carry the lectern.
I mean, people were so excited about him. It's as though they were just thrilled to see someone on the steps of Number 10 just doing their job.
I think he can officially be described as a MILF, which is mechanic I'd like to fund for a leadership bid.
And he's running under the slogan, a sound guy.
Yeah.
That's so good. The end of the point to the top. Okay, Now we play a round called Don't Let the Door Hit You on the May Out. This game involves Tom Allen and Glenn Moore, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is growing up.
That's offensive. I think my parents always wanted me to be really, really grown up. Like, I remember years ago, my parents coming into my room, confiscating all my toys and saying, "You're too old for teddy bears." And I was so upset, I just stormed out the house and I just drove. I'm a proper grown-up now, though, and I can tell I'm a grown-up because of my pyjamas. Like, you can all tell you're grown-ups because of your pyjamas, because, like, when you're a kid, I'd wear pyjamas that had, like, immature things on, like Disney characters and stuff like that. But now I'm a grown-up, you know, I wear pyjamas that have got more mature characters on, like the Cast of Atonement. I mean, my 11-year-old cousin, we've both got Harry Styles pyjamas, but hers say One Direction and mine say Dunkirk. Obviously, slippers is the only exception to this. Slippers only ever have grown-up characters on because it's only grown-ups who wear slippers. No child in their right mind is wearing slippers, and if your child is wearing slippers, keep your creepy Jacob Rees-Mogg child away from me. When I was growing up, all I ever wanted to be was I wanted to be an astronaut. I thought I can be an astronaut. I've only got 2 weaknesses, being vague and another weakness. No, I can be an astronaut, but the problem is, if you tell your teachers you want to be an astronaut, they say, no, you don't need to study that. You need to study Shakespeare. The only way you can become clever is if you study Shakespeare. That's not true. Shakespeare didn't study Shakespeare. He went on to become Shakespeare. Shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm just annoyed at myself because I didn't realise to be an astronaut you've got to be good at science, and I didn't listen during science, and now I don't remember any science. Like, I remember the basics. I know stuff like if you put a tooth in some milk, you will lose your job at Cravendale. But I get annoyed at what I do remember and what I don't remember, and I find it unfair. I find it unfair that for 7 years of my life I had to study physics every single week. I don't remember any physics. Yet in 2003, I saw half of Johnny English. I still remember the name Pascal Sauvage.
Thank you very much, Brad. OK, that leaves us with Tom. Let's spin the wheel and see what your topic is. The topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus! And the apparatus basically was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms have to be buckled to the floor, otherwise it would just swing out and kill everybody. They had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. The boys go to Tom Allen. All right. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Olga, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics it is. The answer is 29. What is the question?
How many Tories joined the leadership contest since the beginning of this recording?
Is it how many years has Theresa May aged in the last year?
Is it how many seconds Ed took to choose that shirt?
I'm sorry, I'm getting fashion tips from a man who has a shop at Big and Tall and someone from Victorian times.
Please.
Do me.
You don't want me to go there, Glenn.
I just thought I was having a bit of laddie bounce. This is what people do all the time on these sorts of shows.
And then
it's
I
always
throw-
about the banter.
And then I throw it back at you. That's how laddie bants work.
Do I have to throw it back again?
No, it's fine, please. Even if you repeated use of the word laddie band sounds like a Scottish singer from the 60s.
I would definitely have the recording.
Bringing in
on.
Hogmanay, the musical stylings of laddie band. Oh, Glasgow, I love you.
Is it if you make a Jamie Oliver 30-minute recipe, after how many minutes does the recipe go into administration?
Is it, now that they're a bit older, how long does it take So Solid Crew to go?
Is it how many A's are in Dominic Raab?
Is it how many days would a man have to live in a woman's body before abortions were legalised and there was no tax on tampons? Am I right, sisters?
For BBC Balance, I'd just like to say I disagree with everything Angela said.
Is it the highest the UK has ever come in Eurovision?
Is it, Dara, what is the winning number in tonight's Mock the Week raffle?
Is it the age all of Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriends go missing?
Is it the number of seconds it takes Dara to go through hair and makeup before the show?
Go on, Dara, say something horrible back to him.
Horrible.
Dara, call him a Lego figure geography teacher.
Go on, Dara. I'm just saying, when you brush it all forward, it's clearly obvious. No. Does anyone have the correct answer?
Yeah. Is it how many weeks after we leave the EU will we politely ask to join again?
Is that how many people the Brexit Party got elected into the European Parliament?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Tom Harlan. There you go. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many seats did the Brexit Party win in the European elections? This is news that Nigel Farage's Brexit Party topped the polls in every region of the UK, apart from London and Scotland, and in Northern Ireland, where the party did not stand.
Who cares? Being an MEP right now with Brexit's coming, it's like getting a Christmas job at Debenhams.
I think we should wait for them to all go to Brussels and then remove freedom of movement so they can't get back in.
What's amazing about him, though, is that he has... You know, the Brexit Party really has no policies on anything except Brexit.
Yeah.
Does it? And the Labour Party has policies on everything except Brexit. They should get together.
Do you remember when Jeremy Corbyn was at Glastonbury and everyone was going like, yeah, Jeremy Corbyn, going mad for him, and now no one cares about him? That's how the Zootons must feel.
He's had a big week, though, hasn't he?
He has had a big week, yes. Why is that?
It was his birthday, and he couldn't work out whether to commit to a party or not. That was the problem.
He did have a party for his 70th. The main party was at his gaff, but Diane Abbott had everyone for pre-drinks on the tube.
The problem with a Corbyn party is it would be really, really difficult with a birthday party because you'd have, like, half the people at the party want to go paintballing and the other half think that the Jews run the media.
What should we get him for his 70th birthday, do you think?
I don't think he'd want presents. I think he'd be quite giving, and but not in, like, a fun way. Like, the cake would be carrot cake and it'd be rubbish. And then, like, there'd be a party bag, but it's like a Hessian sack that's got, like, the Communist Manifesto and a flat cap. And there's, like, a little box of sun-made raisins, but you look closer and it's Mao's Little Red Book.
I quite enjoyed the next morning. The first thing I read on Twitter was someone going, "It was a victory for Remain. All of the Remain parties, when you add up every single one of their votes, beat the Brexit Party." You can't do that. You can't just turn around and go, "London won the Premier League." What'll happen is we'll end up leaving, then in a decade, it'll all be terrible, so we'll ask to go back, and they'll let us back in, but only if we start doing weird European stuff, like giving kids wine and eating paprika crisps.
Yes, you can come back in, but now your national sport is handball. Really?
Stop eating
have to be? OK. I gotta go. Oh, this is not fun.
Olga, you grew up in Europe, right?
I grew up in Russia.
Oh, but they're in Eurovision.
I mean, so's Australia.
Okay.
But, I mean, the turnout for this was so low, Russia didn't even interfere.
Have you got links to Russian political things, isn't you? You talk about this on stage.
How do you think I got on Mock the Week?
In other news, who's favoured to replace Theresa May as party leader?
Boris Johnson,
Boris,
you've got to worry. Like, he's been quiet for about 6 months. We knew he was up to something. The Tories are likely to select him, aren't they? Because it's up against Farage, and you need to fight Titan with Titan of it. You know, it's like the plot of Godzilla, but with bell ends.
If it does end up being Boris, I find it so weird that he will sleep in the same bed that Theresa May used to cry under.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know, but whoever comes in after will definitely change the bed.
I can imagine him putting in one of those race car beds.
I think if he does become Prime Minister, it does mean that Gary Busey will be in Series 7 of The Crown.
So that's then we got Rob, we got Gove.
Esther McVeigh.
Esther McVeigh's running. This is Tommy Fury. This is Tommy Fury. He's running as well. He's the 20-year-old boxer from Manchester. He's running for it as well. Who else is running? I think we've got, is it Yolanda Biala? She's running. Wait a minute, hang on. Oh, we may have mixed this up. This is Love Island. Sorry, this is Love Island. We're on at the same time, so it's very easy to mix up these two competitions. They're both running during the summer. They're both going to be huge. There'll be eliminations. We'll narrow it down. Do you know the best thing about Love Island is?
Go on.
Oh, God, Ed Gamble's in it. Look, Ed Gamble's in it.
Wow.
Look at Ed Gamble. Ed, this is...
You know what? You're the first people to bring it up. Oh. It's not like I've been dealing with 24 hours of shit on Twitter for this.
Ed, it's another reason for you to take that shirt off.
And I know people think it's just one picture. Let's have another look at Ed. There you go.
It's not me! I mean, God, I wish I did look like that.
Is he like you as a person, though?
I have never met him. Why would I have met him? Do you think...
Where's he from? Come on. If half the country said to me, oh, you look just like this person, probably Dara, then I'd want to meet them and find out about them. I'd at least, like, look up one thing about them.
I can't meet him, Tom, because he's on fucking Love Island.
But you can't always meet them easily. I've never met Louis Theroux.
Fair point. Yeah. I don't want to have the party where we meet the people we look like, because I'm not sitting in a corner with the megabus guy. Again. Oh, here we are again. Oh, how you doing?
One of those doppelganger websites where you upload your photo told me I was 92% Patrick Swayze.
Even Patrick Swayze's no longer 92%.
Oh. At the end of that round, the points go to Tom Olganen. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make the way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a history documentary.
Now, while this may look like an ordinary car park in Leicester, this is actually the final resting place of my hymen.
It's on this very spot in Dallas, overlooking the president's motorcade, that John F. Kennedy is going to die.
And it was here in this field that the fighting started. It was Glastonbury 2015 and some prick nicked my tent.
The Trojans had been fooled by a wooden horse. They would never bet on the Grand National again.
I'm walking on the outside of this castle because of my National Trust lifetime ban.
It's 1856, but it'll be 1903 before the Southern train arrives.
Henry VIII liked his wives to be athletic, and that was her downfall. She wouldn't run, she wouldn't walk. She would simply Anne Boleyn.
And so the king appointed a viceroy as a replacement for his regular Roy.
We talk a lot about Winston Churchill's achievements, but we don't talk nearly enough about that ass!
It's 10:66, so that can only mean one thing. I shouldn't have bought my digital watch from a market.
Before dawn, the carts would all come out to collect the bodies. That is until the day that Prince Philip finally handed in his driving licence.
As the door was opened, he uttered the words which would start the Russian Revolution. "Excuse me," he said. "Is Lenin?"
This was a time before Sigourney Weaver, when everyone else had to weave their own Sigourneys.
Incensed that both Henry and Edward had become king, Thomas the Tank Engine plotted revolt.
Of course, we talk a lot about Richard the Lionheart, but we seldom talk about his brother, William the Leopard Scrotum.
And the tyrannical leader took his own life in the bunker. Is what I hope for every time Trump goes golfing.
Isambard Kingdom Brunel died as the most famous, stupidest named person in the world.
Today, we look at one of the key figures of the Ming Dynasty, your mum.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in hospital.
We need a drip. Somebody get me Michael Gove.
Now, the good news is your blood results have come back clear. The bad news is blood shouldn't be clear.
Oh, my God, yay! £350 million! Great news, thanks.
Time of death, Pim's o'clock.
Look, if you squeeze his drip really hard, he gets an erection.
I'm a junior doctor and I get paid enough.
Erectile dysfunction, you say? Does it hurt when I do this? And does it feel amazing when I do this?
Now, you have pneumonia. Would you like to keep that or gamble for the big prize?
I remember when my dick looked that young.
I am the leading gynecologist in this hospital. I work in the cafe, but I'm a bit of a legend.
Would anybody like a hand? I've just found a hand.
You have cancer. Sorry, you're having a cancer. Your baby is due July 15th.
Well, the good news, it's not spread. It might be jam or peanut butter.
I see you. I see you. No, can you tell me the way to the ICU?
We've had a look at your X-ray, and what we've found might alarm you. There's a big skeleton living in your body.
Yes, I think it's a curvature of the upper spine, but it's just a hunch.
Good news, Mrs. May. We managed to have your tear ducts repaired just in time for your big speech.
All right, yeah, now the point to the Tom Organer. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Gamble, Olga Koch, and Tom Allen. Commiserations to Glenn Moore, Hugh Dennis, and Angela Barnes. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Fiona Bruce steers the conversation over on BBC One. Question time in a couple of minutes. And for a funny topical look at modern Britain, Ramesh Jaman, check out his new series, The Ranga Nation, on BBC iPlayer.
I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Rhys James, Ellie Taylor and Ed Byrne, Nish Kumar, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. We start tonight with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ellie, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, home news it is. That's your topic. The answer is 3 days. What is the question?
Is it how long will Theresa May be unemployed for until she starts vlogging?
Is it if Theresa May puts an ice cube in her mouth, how long until it melts?
Is it how long does every hour of Melania Trump's life feel? Is it how many days did I have diarrhea for after I ate some petrol station sushi in 2005?
Is it how long was my granddad asleep for before I realised I could now afford a house?
On the one hand, that's quite cold, but also you're making a very strong generational point.
Yeah. Rhys, your granddad's 35.
Is it how long Jeremy Corbyn pauses for before he gives his answer about what Labour's position is on Brexit?
Is it for how long did I live rent-free in a stranger's house by pretending I was on the TV show Hunted?
Is it in Alabama, how many days after an egg is fertilised does it have more rights than its mum?
Is it in the event of a no-deal Brexit, how long will it be before we have to eat Dominic Raab?
How long would it take before I would be bullied off Love Island? Do you think love is really the right word for what goes on that island?
Does anyone have the correct answer?
Yeah, what is the 0 to 60 of a 1975 Austin Maxi?
Is it how long did Donald Trump's visit to the UK last?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Nish Kumar. Yes. The question I was looking for was, how long did US President Donald Trump stay in the UK during his state visit? This is the news that Donald Trump and his family visited Britain this week. His trip included a state banquet at Buckingham Palace and a commemorative event for the 75th anniversary of D-Day. How do you think it all went?
I was amazed he brought his whole family, because he seemed to bring one child that no one had ever heard of.
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah.
Who is Tiffany?
She sang I Think We're Alone Now.
And for that...
She's changed a lot since then.
Yeah. He's the daughter he doesn't want to shag, I think. Is that what
Are you offended?
Not me!
No, are you offended because you think he does want to shag her?
Prop to Tiffany. But he didn't mean the entire family. I mean, because he left Barron at home, presumably in a Home Alone type situation, because Barron and Mother and all of the family. So it's just Barron being in the White House while Joe Pesci's climbing up a ladder. Barron's there in his Arsenal jumper just trying to swing a pot of paint against him or
I
something.
think we missed an opportunity there, because we know how he likes to welcome people to America, so we should possibly have given him a full body search, kept him waiting for 6 hours, and then separated him from his children. That would have been...
Hugh, he did fly into Stansted.
I mean, let's have some humanity.
I love that he flew into Stansted and then had to go to Portsmouth. It's like the shittest stag do ever.
I think it's interesting because when he was asked about it that he said he saw no protests. He saw one tiny protest, but the rest of it, everybody very happy to see him. We're all waving American flags. We're waving them so hard, some of them went on fire.
I tell you what, it's been proof that the army's in trouble, isn't it? Because it's a Royal Gun Salute and they all missed him.
What did you do before he even arrived?
Well, he slagged off Sadiq Khan, didn't he?
I mean, it's like his phone has one of these kind of proximity things that when the phone found 3G again, it went, oh, you're in London, and an alert comes on and go, insult Sadiq Khan, and he banged out a quick one on the...
Do you think that massive...
Banged out a quick one, Darren.
Banged out a quick tweet. Banged out a quick tweet.
I think you said one, though. You said one, didn't you?
One meaning one
I think you
tweet.
really needed to say
Banged out a
tweet
quick
rather than one.
One tweet. What do you think?
Do you need me to explain what I think they thought you meant? How long have you been in this business?
I'm sorry, are we all sat here assuming that he's not masturbated on Air Force One?
To the thought of London's mayor.
What special car did Trump bring over with him?
The Beast.
The Beast? What's the Beast?
He's never going to get that into the ULEZ zone, is he? I thought he's going to have to leave it on the Euston Road and get a Boris bite, which would be very satisfying.
I love that he had to bring a car that can withstand, like, grenades and bombs, when really all we've got is milkshake.
Milkshake, yeah. He's not been keeping up with this. He's not been keeping abreast of what happened.
Really
it just needs loads of windscreen wipers. Every surface needs to be a windscreen wiper just to get rid of milkshake.
And you think he's got all
And by the sounds of it, from the inside as well.
I love all the gift exchanges. They're quite... Because the Queen gave him a book. Like, that is a burn, isn't it? The only well-thumbed thing in Trump's library is the nanny.
How did Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn react to Trump's visit?
Corbyn has really picked a side over Trump. If only he could do that with Brexit.
He boycotted the banquet, didn't he, Corbyn?
Yeah.
Not like him to not turn up to something, is it? But he boycotted it. He go, yeah, it's not your scene. Like, he's so clearly the sort of guy, we don't have to go out for a posh dinner. We've got a perfectly good butternut squash at home.
In fairness, though, the way he gets treated by the British press, if he'd gone, they'd have just had a photograph of him going, so-called socialist, gorgeous himself at white tie ball. So he can't win, really, can he, to be fair?
I think he can't win, no.
No.
First thing Trump did when he arrived was meet the Queen. Here they are, meeting.
Nice thing to put on his formal wear tutu. That was nice.
I like to imagine she's going, oh,
you arrived at Stansted, did you? That was my idea.
Why does she need a handbag? She's in her own garden. What's it? What
I think that's why she's carrying her mace in case he tries to... I feel like she's just hanging on to him, just going, Philip, 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 this is the shade of orange I wanted to do the bathrooms at
If I was her, I would have worn an outfit made out of American flags because he thinks you should respect the American flags. It would have confused him. It's like, you're a woman, but I feel compelled to respect you. It would or completely blow his mind. I'd wear a Stars and Stripes burqa.
If you just focus on the front bit of the jacket, it looks like he's got the most obscene boner in history.
You can't not see it.
You can't not see it now. Look, none of us have met the Queen. We don't know what it's like.
In other news, who was expelled from the Labour Party recently?
Alistair Campbell.
Yes, Alistair Campbell. Why?
He was expelled because he voted Lib Dem in the EU elections.
Is being expelled from the Labour Party like being expelled from school? Is Alistair Campbell going to turn up outside the gates of Labour on a BMX? Smoking a cigarette going, I got up at 10 a.m.
What gets me is that he got expelled for voting Lib Dem, but there's been people who've done way worse things who are part of the Labour Party and haven't got expelled. So John Prescott's son got, despite allegations of sexual harassment, including an instance where a woman rejected him and he allegedly shat on the floor in protest, which is actually a metaphor for Jeremy Corbyn's views on Brexit. And yet he's allowed to stay in, but this guy...
He shat on the floor!
Honestly, I think legally we have to give this story 10 minutes. By which I mean, legally, he has denied the allegation, and it's very difficult to DNA these things. So therefore, we cannot... An allegation was made, but we cannot definitely say, and he has denied it.
Why is the top of the pillar that he's leaning on made of sponge cake? He's also being attacked by 3 tiny soldiers wearing those...
Considering how low down those microphones are, they just assume he's talking out his arse.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Ellie and Reese. Now, we play a round called Look at the State Visit of That. This game involves Reese James and Angela Barnes. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is the stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first subject is relationships.
Hello. I have a boyfriend. Thanks. It's fine, sir. I was single for a really long time. I thought I was going to be one of those women who just dies alone at home with a cat eating her face. That's what I thought. I mean, it wouldn't happen because I won't have a cat. If I want shit in my kitchen, I'll do it myself. Do you know what I mean? He's very good-looking, my fella, like proper good-looking, out of my league good-looking. Now, I know you think I'm biased saying that. I'll tell you how I know for a fact he's out of my league good-looking. That's because every time I've introduced him to a friend for the first time, the minute he leaves the room, they'll turn to me and go, how the hell did you do that? Charming, isn't it? What are his friends saying to him? Are you all right? Just we're very different. Like, he's very fit and athletic and sporty, and I'm not sporty. I don't even watch sport. I once got tricked into going to Wimbledon because my friend told me it was a men's singles event. That's not what I was expecting. It used to worry me that he's so much hotter than me, but, you know, we've been together 5 years now. If he is doing it for a bet, he's really committed to winning it, so... We were a little bit older when we met. I was 37 when I met my fella. Now, I think it's good to meet someone a bit older in life, you know, when you know what you want. Like, it's proved controversial when I've said this before, but I don't trust childhood sweethearts. Now, I'm sure if you are one, you'll be fine, I just think they're the same people who go on game shows and don't gamble for the big prize. I've had a lovely day, you'll do. There are 7 billion people on this planet. What are the chances your ideal one sat behind you in maths? Really?
Thank you very much, Angela. OK, that leaves us with Reese. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is philosophy.
I feel like people who say everything happens for a reason have never shit themselves on public transport. Love these phrases. I love the way people use these phrases now to be deep. The other day, we went to a friend's house. She had this poster, this, like, framed print of this phrase. It said, "Life is about the journey, not the destination." And I was like, obviously. The destination is death. Otherwise, that just says life is about death. And that's a bit heavy for your downstairs bathroom, as far as I'm concerned. Heard this one the other day, heard someone say, "Don't have regrets. You mustn't have regrets, because whatever you did was at one point exactly what you wanted." I was like, so? I'm an idiot. At one point, I paid for the Crazy Frog ringtone. I don't know shit. At one point, I bought a little chair for my old Nokia mobile phone. My judgment is abysmal. At one point, I sucked on the breast of my own mother. Doesn't mean I don't regret New Year's Eve 2012. People change. The way that karma has been hijacked by so many young people does my head, and all these young people all the time going, "Yeah, I believe in karma. I live my life by karma, because I believe if you do good things will happen to you. So that's why I do good things, so that good things will happen to me." And I think, well, then you're a piece of shit. Just do a good deed. Who lives their life like that? Constantly looking back, analysing, seeing if their good deed paid off and they got something good in return. You know, who's getting a promotion at work thinking, "Oh, that because I gave that bad old pair of trainers to Oxfam last week"? You know, who's getting a hand job thinking, "Oh, that because I helped that old lady cross the street"? That's not karma. That's just a very grateful old lady.
Thank you very much. Points there go to Angela. Well done. Thank you very much. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what is going on here?
Oh, I can't believe I've been photographed wearing this helmet, says Cycle Hat.
Because no one calls it a cycle hat. Oh, I better put on my cycle hat to keep my brain dome from breaking.
I also love the fact that he's clearly trying to style out the fact that he is not at his house and is very lost.
He's messed up so many relationships. He's lived in so many different... That bag is just full of front door keys.
This is how different Budget Day will look if Boris ever becomes Chancellor of the Exchequer.
When people say he's got the Tory leadership election in the bag, is this the bag they're talking about?
I think he's heard that cycling reduces your sperm count and he's just desperate not to have any more illegitimate children.
You just know that whoever took that picture just went, "Oi, wanker!" You looked...
You want the actual answer?
Yeah, go on, what the hell?
I think that's Boris Johnson.
Yes, this is former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, who is the front-runner in the race to become Tory leader. At the time of recording, Johnson was one of 11 candidates vying to replace Theresa May as leader of the Conservative Party when she leaves in July. So have you been following the leadership race?
It's like Game of Thrones with fewer dragons and more tits.
I have personally upset 2 out of 11 of those people.
And try harder.
Who have you upset?
I mean, well, yes, Dominic Raab, he mistook me for a different brown person in the green room of Question Time, which is a concern for me if he becomes Prime Minister, apart from the fact that it's not, because he doesn't know which one I am, and he's going to end up deporting Romesh. And Sajid Javid, I was asked to introduce him at a benefit, and I introduced him by saying, "Please welcome with no applause a representative of a government who's fundamentally ruined this country." Because where were any of you at the British Asian Small Businessman of the Year?
Yeah, where were you? I was there. I was there. No, wait, what?
Is that for men who run small businesses or for small businessmen?
Well, given the average height of the average Asian man, both.
People have been complaining that there's only 2 female candidates. And as a feminist, I'd like to say good. Because some jobs just aren't feminist, are they? And I think Tory leader might just be one of them. It's like, I'm also pleased there's not many female serial killers. It's not like I'm going, oh, say what you like about Rose West, but she did make it in a man's world.
Isn't it mad that Boris is just a man who once hosted a comedy panel show and soon he is going to be the leader of this country? Dara, you have wasted your power. You've had all this power built up and you just used it to make robots fight.
I'm playing a long game, mate. I'm playing a long game.
What about Dominic Raab? Dominic Raab was the Brexit secretary. He's already tried to negotiate it, and now he says he's going to go back and do it again. What, in a disguise? What's going to happen?
How did Rory Stewart cause a stir this week?
Because he looks like a haunted Eddie Redmayne.
I tell you what, they say you get more right-wing as you get older. I never thought it'd happen to Bez from Happy Monday.
We're all burying the lead here. Rhys James from the future has come back to warn past Rhys James.
Yeah. Man.
It's if Rhys hadn't been inflated to his proper pressure.
You're 22 PSI Rhys James. That's what he is.
Ironically enough, he looks like me if I had done opium. And that is what he's
done. Yeah, it is
done.
genuinely a refreshingly new scandal to
I mean, let's get that off the screen, shall we?
Rory Stewart got involved. We had to apologise for having done opium, which is just so fantastically 19th century. And where did you do the opium?
On a night out with Sherlock Holmes.
Might as well have been. No, at a wedding. At a wedding.
The wedding in Iran.
He was at a wedding and an opium pipe was passed around.
But he also tried to justify it by going, oh, well, the family I did it with was so poor, there was probably hardly any opium in it. Really getting him out by poverty-shaming the people who gave it to you.
Jeremy Hunt came out as well and said that he wanted to do a bit of one-upmanship, and Jeremy Hunt said that he had a cannabis lassie.
Yes.
He was also on holiday. It's just so Tory, isn't it? It's like, oh, I didn't smoke weed, I had a cannabis lassie. Oh, I didn't do heroin, I did opium. Even when doing drugs, they sound like they got them from M&S.
Cannabis lassie sounds a little bit unfair on the dog.
What's that, cannabis lassie? What's that? What's that? Is it in the well? Bark. In other news, who suffered an unexpected defeat this week?
AJ. Anthony Joshua.
Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I am a boxing fan, particularly as of this week, because the guy who beat Anthony Joshua is, frankly, a role model to men whose body type can best be described as very into Marvel films.
Andy Ruiz.
Until I saw this photograph, I didn't think you'd be able to carry off a chest tattoo.
Everyone's calling him fat. I mean, I mean, not to his face, obviously.
I know that boxing's not just about athleticism, but you didn't expect Joshua to lose to the little boy from Up.
And by beating him, actually, Andrew Ruiz won all 3 of Joshua's belts, which is what he needs. Get me doing the fat jokes in a second. At the end of that round, points go to Anthony Hewitt-Nish.
I love that moment.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK. Here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
We've got the girl. You can have her if you give us the money. OK, but this is the rudest dating agency I've ever used.
The missiles are heading for us, Prime Minister. We need a decision now. Thank you. He's putting it to the party conference in October.
Welcome to my haunted mansion. If these walls could talk, I'd almost certainly have masturbated less.
The shark from Jaws has spawned. It's baby shark. Do.
Hand me that gun. And that magazine. There's a really good article in it on how to use this gun.
So I got a message from the kidnappers. They said that if I hand over Aunt Esther, they'll give us back the children. Yes, it's an Esther ransom.
Agent Jones, I need you to follow him as closely as you can. I'll be right behind you. Yeah, in fact, I know how a conga works.
Yeah, it's still there. Yep. I wish I'd never been to that perfume counter.
I don't care who you are, I will find you and I will kill you or someone of a similar racial profile.
I have a shot. I can take the shot. Do I have permission to fire? I have the shot. No, for the last time, our job is to protect President Trump.
A new name and a new identity. No, I'm afraid that's not possible, Mrs. May.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Oh, he's refused it? Well, then I'll make the offer again, and again, and then everyone's going to make me quit. Theresa May in The Godfather.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to hand in your badge. A Blue Peter presenter cannot be caught wanking in the garden.
No, this bag stays with me at all times. It contains items that are very special to me. My testicles.
My ass is on the line here. Would you like me to take it down so you can hang the washing up?
Just when I thought the case couldn't get any worse, it didn't.
Give me a name! Give me a name! The christening is in an hour.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? No, sorry, Romesh, you just got a lazy eye. It's quite hard to tell who you are.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at an award show.
Well, ironically, the winner of the best German sausage is the first.
And here's a tribute to all the people who haven't died yet, but I really hope they do.
And the award for clearest example that TV commissioners have run out of ideas goes to Comedy Central for Dara O'Brien's Blockbusters.
Those kids deserve to be on the telly as much as anyone.
Welcome to the Tonys. If you're not called Tony, fuck off.
And the winner of Freestyle Rapper of the Year is Nish Kumar. My name is Nish, and I'm here. I should have written it down.
Welcome to the National Car Key Awards. But first, let's take a look at some of the keys we have lost this year.
And the winner of most drawn-out pause at an award ceremony goes to...
And now we come on to the Balloon d'Or, the most coveted award here at this year's National Balloon Award.
And now for Sat-Nav of the Year. And I can honestly say, without this Sat-Nav, I would not be where I am today.
And now we move to the in memoriam section of the evening, or as it's now to be known, the ones who didn't turn out to be pedos.
And the Duke of Edinburgh Award for driving this year goes to Ant McPartlin.
The Uber driver of the year will be here in 4 minutes.
And there we have it, the winner of Saudi Thief of the Year. Please, give him a hand.
It's me!
Oh, wow, I'll tell you, this statuette's going right up my husband on a get home. Bet to bet, darling!
And the winner of the Origami Award goes to...
Well, I don't mind telling you, I have got a lump in my throat. This is the Medical Misdiagnosis Award.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Angela Hewitt-Nish. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Rhys James, Eddie Taylor, and Ed Burns. Commiserations to Nish Kumar, Hugh Dennis, and Angela Barnes. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Ellis James and John Robbins fill your Friday afternoons with big laughs. Download the BBC Sounds app to listen live from 1. Here on BBC Two, John Richardson and Jessica Hines get topical with Romesh and the Ranga Nation in 45 minutes. That's after Newsnight coming next.
Strong language now on BBC Two. The Tory leadership race may be a serious business, but some people can always find the funny side.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Ed Gamble, Kerry Godliman and Glenn Moore, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Rachel Parris. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what is going on here?
Is this when your dealer's around the corner and you just can't wait?
I think in that picture he is putting his left leg in, so I'm fairly sure he's doing the hokey cokey.
You're thinking, I've just got to get home before the condom disintegrates.
I don't think it's got anything to do with drugs. I think this is ventriloquist's dummy on run after escaping from suitcase.
I'd be running scared as well if I was being chased by an invisible cyclist.
It's part of a regular race that he runs with other people around the Monopoly board site in London. And you get £200 if you pass Gove.
the face of a man who's waited in all day and then there's a sorry we missed you slip on the map.
I can run forever, me. I can run forever. I can run forever, me. I can run forever.
Has he got a sponsorship deal with Adidas where they pay him to not wear their clothes?
Is it Michael Gove misunderstanding when someone said there was a crack in the pavement?
Oh, beautiful.
Anyone guess the answer is?
This,
yes,
I believe, Dara,
yes,
is Michael Gove.
it is. Thank you very much. Cheers, Michael Gove. Yes, this is Environment Secretary and Conservative leadership candidate Michael Gove enjoying a jog. This week, his leadership campaign ran into difficulty after he admitted to taking cocaine on several occasions whilst working as a journalist in the 1990s. He went on to describe his actions as a mistake.
I find it inspiring.
OK.
I think if someone that stiff and posh-sounding who wears glasses can kick that coke habit, and so can I.
Not enough people are looking at it as an inspiring story. Really, not enough people are seeing the positive
No,
in it.
I can understand the disappointment because, I mean, he started that campaign of clean for the Queen, and I thought he was clean for the Queen, but it turns out he was just polluted for the suited and booted, and I find that gutsy.
I think it's quite clever what he's doing. He's basically making illegal drugs uncool one by one. Like, he said he doesn't done coke. Now, no one's ever going to do coke ever again.
Yeah.
If he said he stabbed someone in the 90s, we could end knife crime.
He had a great time in ISIS. He loved his time in ISIS so much. I'm coming back right now.
It made him the man he is. It made him the man he is, I said.
Yeah, he might look unlikely, but I'm sure this is going to escalate. I reckon by the time this is broadcast, he will have been revealed as H.
From Steps?
Yeah, from Steps, yeah.
His flatmate was very shocked, wasn't he, when he found out about it? Because he was like, I don't know where he's fit it in because he had a busy lifestyle. When did he fit in a coke habit?
It was.
But it's easy to fit in a bit of Charlie. I mean, it takes seconds, doesn't it? Like putting your wedding photos in an album. You never get around. It takes ages. You've got to paint a wall or put up a shelf.
I don't know how he was given coke, because firstly, he's got to have been invited to a party, and secondly, someone has to have been cruel enough to give him a mirror.
He doesn't look like he sniffed anything apart from his neighbour's knickers off the line.
But at the point where Michael Gove is worried that his political career will be ended by these revelations, our general tone is, you didn't. You didn't. Like, you didn't. You didn't. No one thinks you did. So, therefore, it was all for nothing.
It was quite a revelation to me that I have less experience with illegal substances than Michael Gove. I have never felt more white in my life. And I've been to a farmer's market to buy organic cider.
He's really worried, isn't he, about... Or at least people have said that he might not be allowed into America because he's done it.
Yep.
As if he sends a delegation to America, the rest of them fly direct to Washington, and he's going to be in Tijuana trying to get over the wall.
And whilst he's there, he might pick up a bit of stuff.
Yeah. It's not going to work, is it?
I like that he said, to try and get out of it, he said, but it was 20 years ago. Like, he was 31. That 20 years ago thing, like, doesn't work as you get older and older. Like, imagine the Queen saying, it was 20 years ago. Like, Liz, you were 73. You've never been at that illegal rave.
I think the biggest drugs revelation from the Tory party is that Theresa May wasn't pilled up when she did that dance.
A lot of leaders have used drugs, and like Hitler, he sniffed marker pens.
Who else is as in this?
Andrea Leadsom. It was a headline.
It's a bizarre.
It's amazing when Andrea Leadsom. There was a headline and went weed at university. You think, well, I hope she did. She was there for 3 years.
Jeremy Hunt, of course, admitted to having a cannabis lassie in India. Which he's admitted to taking drugs, but he's sticking within the broad Tory remit of blaming foreigners.
Cannabis lassie, or as he's better known, Scooby-Doo. I think that's great. I just came up with that. I'm really happy with that. The more you think about it, munchy, munchy, wah, 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 wah. dog is definitely on cannabis.
Who took the opium? One of the
Opium, Rory Stewart took the opium. Yeah,
Okay.
but he didn't want to be impolite at a wedding. You know the way when the opium goes round at a wedding,
No,
one
you
doesn't
don't
want
want to
to,
stand out.
go, yeah.
There's no way
It
he
is,
did opium. At the very best, he has the glassy stare of a glue sniffer at a betting shop.
And they're almost cliches. The first is, yes, it had no effect on me. Yes, I took it, but it had no effect on me.
Yeah.
They always had none of these. And you kind of wonder, how did the drugs catch on? Because they clearly don't seem to work. I mean, why have they become so popular, given that they seem to have no effect?
Like, you're just thinking, you're doing it wrong then. It's just yet another thing that you're inept at.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson was the best. He's admitted to nearly taking cocaine, but sneezing at the last second and blowing the cocaine everywhere. Even when he tries to be edgy, he somehow ends up as Mr. Bean. Where he goes, well, I nearly used a sex worker, but just at the last minute I slipped and my head got stuck in a turkey.
Who was Matt Hancock also been at cannabis use this week?
It's like a massive AA meeting.
But the cannabis use can't have led to this design choice at his launch. I mean, this is ridiculous. Because I think it's a reaction to Theresa May. Theresa May found it so difficult to admit to any kind of misbehaviour that now they're all trying to crowdsource the correct amount of misbehaviour and go with no cocaine, no cocaine, go back. And how seems like the safe amount of misbehaviour to say 20 years.
Do you think someone's going to really overshoot it, like Dominic Raab's just going to go, I killed a boy!
At a podium, just finding a vein and going, can we finally have a mature... OK, in other news, what scandals have dogged Labour this week?
Well, there was a guy called Peter Wilsman, is that right?
Yeah.
Who was on the NEC and he's 76. And he was accused of sort of sexual harassment, of sending texts to a much younger woman saying things like, I'm in my pyjamas. Sexy. Fortunately, he was so old he didn't know how to send a photo. So only good.
I don't know the full content, I don't know the full tone of it, like whatever, but it does sound. There can't be any way in which this is an erotic thing to send to someone.
No,
To go,
that's how you get out of sex. You go, oh, I've got my pyjamas on.
When you get over 70, that's what sexting is. Next it'll be, I'm walking downstairs in my long nightshirt and funny hat. I'm holding a candle. Does that make you randy?
Oh, I'm just pouring out my Horlicks.
I'm slowly ascending the stairs of my Stana.
He didn't get...
I sent you a sound file of the engine of my Stana.
I'm rubbing the vapor rub all over my chest.
I'm just filling up my hot water bottle.
What is a good Labour chat-up line in the first place? Do you say something like that? Is that a communist manifesto in your pocket, or do you just have a weird square dick?
OK, at the end of that round, the points of the Rachel Hewell Milton. Now we play a round called Blow, Blow, Blow Your Vote. This game involves Glenn Moore and Milton Jones. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched the Wheel of News, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is domestic life. Who wants to go? Glenn.
I've got two housemates, Sarah and Shalil. And it's not the Sarah and Shalil. I think a lot of people get excited when I say I lived with Sarah and Shalil. It's not the famous Sarah and Shalil you're probably thinking of. I think a lot of people think I'm talking about Sarah and Shalil from AQA's 2007 GCSE Maths exam question 3. No. Like Shalil had 5 apples and Sarah took away 3 of them. It's not them. It'd be mad if it was. No, I like my housemates, but the problem is they've got way better jobs than me, and they always complain about those better jobs. Like, my housemate Sarah, she works at ITV, always complains about the fact she has to start work at 8 a.m. Like, I argued if she hated it so much, she should just change department, work at ITV+1, start at 9. My housemate Shalil, on the other hand, has got a way better job than me, and it really bothers me because he's a lot more stupid than me. To put this into context, up until last year, he thought that the Rice Krispies characters were called Snap, Crackle and Paul, so he's a dick. My housemates are always keeping me up late at night, always playing really loud music, always playing Dizzy Rascal, or to give him his real name, Elizabeth Rascal, and I can't... But we're just different people. Like, they're into really energetic, high-octane activities, and I'm not. They like things like paintballing. I don't really enjoy paintballing. I've never really enjoyed the violence of paintballing. I prefer to sit in the trenches and write poetry about the horrors of paintballing. Whereas they make fun of me for literally every activity I ever do. They once ripped the piss out of me because I queued up overnight to buy the final Harry Potter book, because apparently it's been out for years. We got kicked out of our flat a few years ago, and it was a nightmare. I remember saying goodbye to my housemates for the final time. I said goodbye at a train station, then we all went our separate ways. Sarah departed Paddington on a train, leaving at 65 miles an hour. Shalil departed one on... I thought it was just bad luck that I'd lived with people I didn't like. I'm an unlucky guy. I come from an unlucky family. Like my dad, for instance, unluckiest person I've ever met. Last year, he was travelling in an Uber for the first time, fell asleep for 1 minute, got given 1 star. That is bad luck. Uber said he was a bad driver, but that is bad luck.
Thank you very much, Graham. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenthood. Away you go, Milton.
I went back to my parents' house the other day, looked into my neighbour's garden where I used to steal apples as a toddler. They didn't mind me stealing apples. It was dressing up as a toddler they thought was weird. I come from a family of auctioneers. There's my mum, my dad, my Uncle Philip, Auntie Eileen, my dying grandfather, going. I said to my dad, I keep making mistakes. He said, you're talking to the wrong person. I said, oh, no, not again. He said, well, it wasn't as bad as that Uber driver I had the other day. He fell asleep. So Calvin Klein's mum has labelled everyone else's pants. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round and yellow. We called her Melanie. Apparently, I didn't even turn up to one of my own children's christenings, according to one of them, who shall remain nameless.
Thank you very much. Well done. Very good. Okay, lads, the points go to Glenmore. Well done. Woo. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Rachel, which category would you like?
I'll take a gamble on sport, please.
All right, Gran, you're going to try sport. OK, the answer is about 1 million. What is the question?
Is it how many emails do I get from Groupon every single day?
Is it how many times a month does my exaggeration club meet?
Is it how many things have I got to do today?
I'll never fit that Coke in.
Is it, since I was last on Mock the Week, how many tweets have I had about Love Island?
Have you slept with anyone yet? Have you slept with anyone on the island
Have I
yet?
slept with anyone on the island
yet?
Yeah, why not? I'm just going to own it now. Yeah, I'm on Love Island and I commute to do Mock the Week.
Have you seen that Twitter account that's a mixture of you and the guy?
Yes, of course, I've seen Curtis Gamble 12.
Oh, good.
Is it making you cross?
Is it making me cross? Oh, only in the sense that the moment I wake up every day until the moment I go to bed is just an onslaught of social media about me being on fucking Love Island.
Everyone's got to have a niche.
It's not my niche!
Is it the prize money in the new game show Who Wants to Be Approximately a Millionaire?
Is it what ransom does, like, quite a relaxed kidnapper ask for?
Whatever you can rustle up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not picky about this, you know, like just a couple of bags worth.
How many times has Diana Ross been phoned up by people trying to get Dinah Rod?
The notion that Diana Ross answers her own phone, Diana Ross. Yes, Diana Ross. Yeah, no, I don't do drains, thank you.
Is it How many people would my Uber driver have to mow down before I gave him anything less than 5 stars?
Tara?
Yes?
How many times have I told you not to do that?
Q, I'm in my pyjamas.
Is it how many times we can look forward to everyone mispronouncing Jeremy Hunt's name over the next year?
Is it when I have an evening to myself, how many steps does my watch say I've done?
Is it how many decibels does the fox below my window orgasm at?
There's a real tone to it as well, isn't it?
It sounds like it's saying Ed.
I'm thinking of you on Love Island. What's getting me over the line here? Does anyone know the correct answer?
How many people have been buying tickets for the Women's World Cup?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Kerry Gondaman. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many tickets have been sold so far for the FIFA Women's World Cup? This is the news that the tournament kicked off during a busy time for sport that also includes the football's Nations League and the Cricket World Cup as well. Now, have you been following any or all of this?
Yeah, I've been singing 3 lionesses on the shirt S's.
It's very early in the tournament, isn't it?
It's
We've only
really
played
early,
one
yeah.
game, haven't we, against Scotland? We've got 6.1 million viewers, which is great.
So they're the lionesses.
Yes.
Do they change the badge? Do they do it like Disney do and just put eyelashes on the lion?
I used to go out with a girl years ago who had a great big green top and big gloves, and I took her home to see my mum, and she whispered to me, "She's a keeper."
How has the women's manager, by the way, Phil Neville, been channeling Gareth Southgate?
Who's Phil Neville?
Phil Neville is the manager of the Lionesses.
Yeah. Okay.
Gareth Southgate is the manager of the men's team.
Is Phil Neville allowed in the dressing room for the half-time team talk? Or does he have to be sort of like, we're doing a really good job? Look me in the eye and tell me you can't do better. OK, right, really need to improve.
That's
In
quite
fact,
right.
actually, are you going to talk about Lotus Sport?
Not...
Because I've got a note.
Oh, OK. Dear Sarah, please excuse Kerry from talking about PE. Unfortunately, she doesn't understand it. Thanks. Mrs. Kerry, bracket, Kerry's mum. May I... All right, Kerry, back to the hall.
I can't really imagine a Phil Neville motivational talk to any extent. He's got all the authority of me going, can we all move down inside the train carriage, please?
In what way, though, is he channeling...
Is he wearing a waistcoat?
Like, oh, this is a shot of mine. I even thought, oh, that's very similar, isn't it, to the waistcoat that famously Gareth Southgate was wearing during last year's World Cup. It is very similar. That's how... It's kind of weird, isn't it?
That's what it's like when you go bloke shopping.
Yeah.
It's all like that.
Kerry, look around.
I look like the opposite of that. Like the polar inverse.
You look like a graphic designer on the way to a funeral.
I think it would be nice if we stopped focusing on what the men are wearing and actually maybe listen to them for a change.
They wouldn't be dressing like that if they didn't want us to look at them, all right? Just look at they know we're looking. They know we're looking.
I suppose you think a waistcoat is provocative.
Oh, you're saying it's a bit saucy. It goes in and out in the right places. Let's see arms.
They are wearing that waistcoat for themselves.
Yeah, but where's that tie pointing?
Yeah. They know what they're doing. Selfie minxes. Oh, it feels good to objectify Phil Neville. In other news, what did someone find in their punnet of raspberries at a Sainsbury's in Basildon this week?
A lizard.
A lizard! A gecko! A tiny lizard was found. Look, there he is.
Oh, I love gecko's hands.
They're great, aren't they? They're they're really...
Jazz hands.
He's going, I'm the lucky one, really. My brother's in the jam.
I feel like somewhere there's a mob boss telling his henchmen, you need to make the warnings less weird.
Sainsbury's really pushing their taste the difference rate.
I think the headline in the Daily Mail was illegal immigrant found stowed in potential British coolie.
That scene in Titanic where Jack and Rose have sex in the car.
It's like a gecko stag do.
Oh, right, hang on. So the other geckos look, stuck them in and stuck them in.
Yeah, they're like Luke Gary in the punnet.
Where are Gary's now? I mean, it does feel like that they should have. I mean, in that situation, would you ask for help or would you just go, magic, gecko?
The gecko must be about 30 or 40 quid.
You know, it's got to be...
Punnet of raspberries, £3 tops.
I mean, you're totally coming out...
You've totally come out with a gecko.
Oh, yeah. And but you know if you alert the staff, they're going to take the gecko off.
You're like, no, there isn't an unexpected item in the bagging area.
Literally, it is literally the situation for which that phrase was invented.
There is a gecko in the bagging.
Do you think he is one of the ingredients of a Black Forest gecko?
Tremendous.
Sometimes I surprise even myself.
Kerry, under her breath, just went, masterclass.
OK, again, that round of points to the 10. Kerry. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
Wimbledon, day 3. Still not seen one fucking womble.
Pass, 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 another pass. Sorry, I'm on Tinder.
Welcome to coverage of the first ever Willy Wonka Olympics officiated by the umpire, the lumpire and the dumpity-dumpire.
Oh, and that's some excellent curling. I have never seen a dog take a shit like that before.
And that was 9.6 seconds! Sorry, darling. There is Hamilton. Hamilton is driving at 180 miles an hour. This is not the musical I expected.
Welcome to the Tour de France, presented by Francis Della Tour de France.
And now it is just Mo Farah against the clock, which doesn't seem fair. It doesn't even have legs. It is just a clock.
And he's gone down in the box. Fair enough, it is her birthday.
Well, after arriving at the wrong nation, England believe they have now arrived at the correct one. They think it's Moldova. It is now.
And welcome to our 5th day at the Oval today. Don't it go on?
And that's a clean entry, very little splashing and a lovely flick at the end. This really is the most impressive urine sample I've ever witnessed.
Well, you have to hand it to relay runners, don't you?
Oh, the parachute has failed to open at 300 metres, and you can't make mistakes like that at this level.
Oh, this is the campest Grand National I've ever seen. Oh, sorry, it's the dressage.
Has that crossed the line? She's calling HR, so I think it did.
Oh, and he scored! What a weekend Michael Gove is going to have.
The next topic is unlikely lines from a romantic novel.
I know I promised you fellatio for your birthday, she said. But they didn't have any, so I got some vermicelli.
Ever since our night of passion, I've burned for you, she said. Desire? He asked. No, cystitis, she said.
Turn the light off, she said. What about all the boats? Said the lighthouse keeper.
I'm not the most sexually minded man, George told her, and I know that the average man supposedly thinks about sex every dick sucking. 6 seconds.
Be mine. Had she heard right? No, he said. B minus. This essay is shit.
Anastasia Steele stood in front of Christian Grey, dressed as a mummy. Oh, I'm sorry, she said. I thought you said you were into bandage.
She'd never forget his first words to her. Cheer up, love, might never happen.
He gasped as her hair cascaded down. Well, it was February. Who waxes in winter?
Carry me upstairs, she said. I'd rather not, said the lighthouse keeper.
Simon sidled across the nightclub floor and used the one chat-up line he knew always worked. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
Lucifer!
He was literally perfect in every way, as far as she could tell from the dick pic.
He took off her top and did what makes all the girls go crazy. Honk, honk!
I wish I knew how to quit you, said Michael, honking another massive line of cocaine.
Our relationship is on the rocks. That's inevitable, said the lighthouse keeper.
She felt the stranger's hand slide round from behind and gently cup her breasts. She's a double 38G! We're gonna need the mega cup!
I am with child, she said. Yeah, but you're not actually a child, so it's still full fare.
He stood before her almost naked and slowly reached down. No, she whispered. Leave your socks on.
Molly was stunned as she reached into the bucket of popcorn next to her and grasped a big handful of her boyfriend's penis. After all, she'd gone to the cinema alone.
At that moment, she knew, with butterflies in her stomach, that she was banned from the London Zoo Butterfly House.
At the end of that, the point to Glenn, carry it out! And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Campbell, Terry Godwin and Glenn Moore. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Rachel Parrish. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Well, what would Malcolm Tucker make of the news? Watch all 4 series of The Thick of It on BBC iPlayer now. And Ramesh reviews the big stories of the week, and he's not alone. The Ranker Nations, Sunday night at 9 here on BBC Two. And catch last weekend's episode at 11:15, straight after Newsnight, next. England v West Indies. The Cricket World Cup continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. Join Test Match Special tomorrow morning from 9:30.
Read about the things
of the Week. I'm Dara Breen, and joining this week are Ed Gamble, Maisie Adam and Ed Byrne, Larry Dean, Hugh Dennis and Tiff Stevenson. We start with our round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Maisie, which category would you like?
Let's go home news.
Lovely stuff. Home news it is. The answer is 5 weeks. What is the question?
Is it how long does it take Rory Stewart to shed his skin?
Is it if Jeremy Hunt started choking, how quickly would the NHS respond?
Is it how long before Chuka Umunna runs out of options and has to join the Brexit Party?
Is it how far into a contract does Paul Pogba fancy going somewhere else?
Is it how far into Chernobyl did I get before I realised Game of Thrones hadn't taken an odd turn?
Is it how long is 1 minute of cricket?
If I say I'm running 5 minutes late, how late am I actually running?
Surely it's how long until we, the British public, find out who is our next Love Island winner! My money's on you.
Right. I can't believe you are new to this show and you're already roasting me.
You know how I feel.
Is it how long a senator from Alabama or Georgia thinks it takes a woman to realise she's pregnant?
Is it for how long did I lie to my driving instructor that I'd failed my test because I loved him and I wanted to keep seeing him? That is some truth into this show.
That is like a Richard Curtis movie waiting to happen.
Don't need the sex, just the love.
Oh, L for love. This writes itself.
Is it how long after I pump you can you walk again?
OK, all right. Now, we had established a charming and whimsical note in the show, right? L for Love, and the sequel, L for Love 2.
Is it how would I ask for 5 wigs in a French wig shop?
Yeah. I like that. You wouldn't even say 5 weeks.
No.
5 weeks. 5 weeks. Would you go in dressed as the police officer from Hello, Hello? I would like a 5 weeks. Then you have the correct answer.
Is it how long is the Tory leadership contest?
That is absolutely right. Thank you very, very much. Yes. The question I was looking for was, how long until the UK has a new Prime Minister? The Conservative Party leadership race is hotting up. Is expected to conclude by Monday, the 22nd of July.
The good news is that you don't have to watch it day by day, because the BBC have now released it on iPlayer as a box set. Spoiler alert, Boris wins.
It's taking too long. They should just do it quickly, like a bikini wax, because either way we end up with a painful twat.
This is the Channel 4 debate, which was on last Saturday, and the empty podium, which was left for Johnson, who didn't turn up.
They should have done it like they do on Match of the Day. It should have been a virtual Boris. He just walked down to the middle and folds his arms like that. And then Alan Shearer discusses his policies. That would be fantastic.
It was his excuse, though. He said, Boris says, there's too much blue-on-blue action. In Scotland, it's so cold, we just call that dogging.
I turned on too late. I thought Boris had been voted off the weakest link.
Do you even sense that, like, I have this weird thing, because he's so presumed that this, well, clearly, he should be the next Prime Minister, that I feel, have I missed a couple of episodes of Boris Johnson? Because when I last tuned into Boris Johnson, he was a dreadful Foreign Secretary who was like, oh, I managed to get some British citizen put in jail for an extra 5 years. Wah, wah, wah. I seem to have lost one of the DVDs. And I turned it back on again. It's like, well, he's clearly the man to lead the entire country now. What?
It was one of those old ones that you had to flip over.
Oh, no!
His new girlfriend, apparently, has been intrinsic in making over Boris and making him seem like a human.
They have this amazing thing, apparently, that they, in the evenings, he and his new girlfriend go cycling and painting. What, do they do that together? Or does he cycle for a bit and then paint? And then in my head, I thought, is it possible? Is Boris Banksy?
They're making a lot of this whole makeover that Boris has had because he looks a lot smarter. Like suddenly getting yourself a nice haircut is going to change your career.
Have you just broken up with someone, Ed?
Because this is a terrible way to tell them.
They're trying to make themselves look cool, aren't they? I've never wanted to do drugs less than when Gove and Boris and Hunt came out and said they'd done... I reckon for millennials, this must be like their Zammo moment from Grange Hill.
This is a massive cautionary tale that end drug use in this country forever.
Yeah, it's
Picture
just...
of Michael Gove going, I've left something for you. There was another poll during there, because obviously the way this works is that there's an elimination of Tory candidates, you reduce it down to 2, and then the actual election takes place, which takes place among the members of the Conservative Party. But they did a poll of the Conservative members saying, what would you sacrifice for Brexit to happen? And 61% said they would dump Scotland.
That would make me vote Tory.
Really? If you could guarantee if you've done everything.
Because before, I thought the arguments were a bit weird. Like, oh, Scotland, if you leave the UK, you're not going to be able to use the pound anymore. And we were like, oh, my God, what are we going to do with all our shopping trolleys? Totally. I usually vote for the Green Party. I didn't in the last election, though, because it was important. But, But my mum votes Tory, and she just said... The only reason why she said is because she says when you get older, you become more right-wing, which is why I don't think the Tories will ever win in Glasgow, because none of us live long enough.
It's also long-winded as a process. Like, it was saying the other day in the papers, it was saying the vote takes place in oak-panelled committee room 14. Why do we need to know the interior design of the room? Like, is it like the judges' houses round? Like, if you don't get through, you get taken through to, like, an MDF-panelled room. Cheryl Cole tearfully sits you down and says, I had to go with my gut.
I want Cheryl Cole now to do the whole thing. I want everyone to be, oh, Esther, I thought you did so well. You absolutely smashed it until you went on Lorraine Kelly.
Just for how she pronounced Gove.
Gove.
Michael Gove. I couldn't tell if you said Michael Gove then or Biker Grove.
Oh, my God, imagine if all this time it's actually been Michael Gove.
He should come into his, like, speech things to the tune of Biker Grove. Michael Gove.
Meanwhile, what brought Argentina and Uruguay to a standstill over the weekend?
Maradona dick pic.
Not that.
The South American Human Statue Championships?
No. Anyone know?
Yeah, they've had a massive power outage.
How massive was the power outage?
It affected 10 million people, I think. But what I love, there are lots of pictures. It goes, images of the power outage. And they're just photos in which you can't see anything because there are no... And one bloke put, I've never seen anything like it. Have you never turned your lights off in your...
Yes, all across sort of Paraguay, Brazil and Chile, as well as most of Argentina and Uruguay. It's
very good, Uruguay.
Well, I had a moment there where I didn't know it was going to be Uruguay or Uruguay. Uruguay.
Was anyone affected in Venezuela?
Colombia.
I actually once went to Venezuela to buy 5 weeks.
We cannot tell you the weeks, senor. We do not know where the weeks are. Well, feel for the weeks with your hands. Will this week do you, sir? This feels like a good week. wigs got in the dark in Central America. It makes no sense. It's just me now, isn't it? It's just me. I'm just on my own thing now. I'm on my own. I'm very happy here. Hola, ¿qué tal, señor? Which of my wigs would you like? Okay. This is, by the way... This is just the relief at not having to talk about the Conservative Party election for 5 minutes. Plus the fact that we can be as offensive as you want about people in South America. They can't see, they've no electricity!
I think, Jamie, I thought this would be a perfect time for South America to mess with Trump, because since it's all dark, we could all hide, and then when the lights come back up, just leave a note there saying, got dark, so we've headed north.
It'd also be the perfect time for the Falkland Islands to invade Argentina.
Imagine wake up and there's a penguin on the end of the bed. Staring with its penguin eyes. They're like a doll's eyes. Staring at you. Staring and then waddling away. Okay, at the end of that, the points go to Tiff, you and Larry. Now we play a round called Finding Tory. This game involves Maisie Adam and Larry Dean, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the Wheel of News, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is going out. What's coming out? Maisie.
I love going out. Proper love it. Total slave to the sesh. Oh, massive slave to the sesh. I love going out, but as you've probably noticed, I'm quite tall. And people always say to me, they say, oh, Maisie, it must be lovely being tall and being a woman with long legs. You can model. Can I? I don't like it, right? I don't like being this tall. I wish I was sort of like a little bit shorter, like a sort of cute height, like a 5'6", 5'7" kind of height. Like, basically, I want to be able to go on a night out and wear high heels and everyone not be at tit level. I dream of a day, this is where I'm at with my height. I dream of a day where I can go on a date, right, and that's not it. Some people looking at me like, I see the problem. I dream of a day where I can, like, go on a date with a lad and, like, sit on his knee and it look cute. It look romantic, rather than it look like I'm restraining him until security. Sort of where I'm at with it at the moment. I've always been tall as well, always been tall. Was tall even as a kid, way taller than everyone else, which meant that I was never a cute kid. And I remember quite, like, clearly the defining moment in my life where I realised I wasn't cute. I was 6 years old. And I had a bowl haircut, actually cut with a bowl, by my dad. Bright blonde hair, that was my natural hair colour. Bright blonde hair, bowl haircut. Basically, when I was 6, I looked like Jack from Titanic. I remember so clearly this defining moment where I realised I wasn't cute. I was on holiday with my family in Blackpool, because we know how to live. And we went to the shopping centre one day and I got lost. And like any good 6-year-old kid, I went to the Lost Children's Centre to tell the lady. But I was really shy at 6 years old, so I went up to her and I was like, excuse me, I've lost my mum and dad. She went, don't worry, sweetheart, tell us your name and we'll put an announcement out on Tannoy. So I said, Maisie. She went, you what? I said, Maisie. This is what went out on the Tannoy in Blackpool Shopping Centre when I was 6 years old. Hello, this is Chelsea from the Lost Children's Centre. Can the parents of a little boy called Moses... him, please. He's wearing a Spice Girls T-shirt and leopard print trousers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That leaves us with Larry. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is confidence. There you go.
I'm not a very confident person. I think it's because I was a virgin until I was 23. That's too long. That's way too long. I genuinely think this, right? You know there's a minimum age you can have sex at? I think there should be a maximum age you have to have sex by. If you're 20 and you've not lost your virginity, the government should get involved. Because sex is like chicken pox. If you don't get it when you're a bit younger, it is going to scar you in later life. Because I've got no confidence, even in the way I look, right? Because I've got body dysmorphia. Like, body dysmorphia, if you don't know, is like the way that you see me is not the same way I see myself, right? So you're looking at me, and you probably see a skinny, white guy. A lot of the times I look at my reflection, I see a fat Chinese lady. And she usually says to me, go away and stop looking through my window. So I thought what I'll do this year is I'm going to slim down and I'm going to tone everything up, right? Even though it's 2019, right? Because 2019 is a difficult year to lose weight because it's bad luck, because it's actually the year of the pig. I know that because my reflection told me. So what I did is I bought this bad boy. It's a pedometer watch, right? I've never had a pedometer watch before, but I've noticed something, right? Whenever I wear my pedometer watch on my left hand, I walk like 5,000 steps a day. When I wear it on my right hand, I get jizz on it.
Thank you very much, Jardine. Points at the end of that round go to Maisie Adam. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Oh, is this Donald Trump reading a poem to a hedgehog?
Oh, spiky one. Your spikes are so good.
Trump presents his new immigration colour chart.
I think he looks like a teacher who's found a note being passed round about him, and he's been like, well, Year 7, I think it's very nice that you think I'm a wazzock in a wig.
Is it one of Ed's wigs?
My wig!
My wig!
Does a bit of paper just say yawn?
I'll tell you what, the White House is a lot smaller close-up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Trump holds tiny piece of paper in order to make his hands look bigger?
Is this a YouTube tutorial on how to origami a white hood?
Does it just go, it's like a horror movie. It says, open this and we will steal your eyes.
Trump wins ticket to Wonka Factory.
Do you want to know what it really is?
Yeah, go on. What is this?
Okay. It's Donald Trump.
You're very, very respectful. This is President Donald Trump, who launched his official re-election bid on Tuesday night in Florida. The president addressed 20,000 people in Orlando, calling the event the hottest of them all, of course. And so it all begins again. Another Trump election. Are we all excited? Yeah.
Hasn't he claimed that the polls are wrong?
Yes, he has.
So he's
Yeah,
claimed
the
that
Poles and the Romanians.
That's him. Who left his? Who left their job in the White House?
Well, Sarah Sanders. She said she left. Whether we can believe her or not, I don't know.
She did. She said she wanted to be remembered as honest and transparent. Well, I want to be remembered as Chris Hemsworth, but I think that ship sailed. What tweets did he send out this week that caused some excitement?
He sent out a tweet where he got the name of the Prince of Wales wrong.
Quite dramatically, actually. I'm not sure if you saw this. I met with the Queen of England, bracket UK, close bracket. It's just to clarify which Queen of England it was. Yeah. Oh, the Queen of England, bracket UK. Oh, sorry. And the Prince of Wales.
There's only one letter wrong, guys.
It was pretty wrong, though. I and the Prince of Wales. Obviously, as I sing my song to lure the whales in.
The song isn't... the actual Prince of Wales song isn't that different to Wales' song. He goes... It's not. You do your Wales... You do your... Yeah? Easily confused with...
But even the start, I meet and talk to foreign government. No, they literally are. They don't. They are foreign government. Foreign government. So-called foreign governments.
I like that everything is
Everything.
exclamation. Like a teenage girl, like, oh my God, we talked about everything. First we did makeup, then we did boys, then we talked about marine life and the whales.
Well, he didn't just meet the Prince of Wales, he also met Prince William. Sorry, Free Willy. You're right, he shouldn't be, like, it was an easy mistake. He shouldn't be publicly shamed for it, shamooed for it.
It wasn't on porpoise.
No. No. I will accept Shamu. I am rejecting porpoise.
The Prince of Wales with an H is a better nickname for Prince Philip, if you think about it, because he's grey, he's endangered, and he can't drive for shit.
As we know, that's the defining feature of a whale. It's the ability to drive. No, your blind spot! Your blind spot! Meanwhile, laughing in the face of possible danger. What's going on here?
Oh, let's talk about this.
Oh.
I'll tell you what. I mean, nobody actually died, so it's a laugh, but this is the precursor to a war with Iran. So, you know, it's like a picture of the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Hey, what's up with this Archduke Franz Ferdinand? That's not going to lead to anything. They all laughed on Mock the Week 1914.
I didn't know that's what it was. I thought that passengers on cruise ships are now so old, they've just started cremating the whole thing.
I thought it was a booze cruise that had over-ordered on flaming sambucas.
You have to say there are easier ways of finding out which way the wind is blowing.
This is actually, I'm quite fluent in this. This is smoke signal for...
And I bet the captain of that ship wishes he hadn't sailed into square D7.
There's only one explanation for this. Richard hammered on a pedalo.
Can whoever's singing My Heart Will Go On please shut the fuck up?
This is an oil tanker, one of two in the Middle East that were attacked last week. The President Trump said that it was Iran who did it.
Is it not true, though, that the big debate here is because Jeremy Corbyn hasn't accepted the evidence?
Yes.
Is that right?
Well, I don't think it's the... I mean, I think there's... the big debate here, maybe, about it is,
yeah, so he hasn't... Yeah, not there. Clearly not in Iran and Saudi Arabia.
I'm sure on the boat... On the boat, as the thing exploded, they weren't going, I hope Jeremy Corbyn accepts the evidence! I'm not leaving the boat until Corbyn makes a statement.
Is this Jeremy's approach to finding out about who... Just knock on the... Where were you on that tanker?
Funny if he opened it and there's a guy just dripping in oil going, well, you should mention that.
I'm looking at this picture and I feel like he's walked me home and I'm like, I can get myself in, thank you.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ed Millionaires. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is rejected exam questions.
History of modern art, question 1. What the fuck is that meant to be?
No deal Brexit technology. Using only a battery and a dead rat, create a solar panel to heat your last tin of beans.
If you have 2 lanes of equal length, how long is it until you can run for Prime Minister?
If Susie has 3 apples and 2 bananas, what is the probability she's already told you about her new plant-based diet?
Draw a perfect sphere. You may use a protractor and Dara O'Brien's head as a guide.
Political science. Boris Johnson is set to be the next Prime Minister of Great Britain. Please explain how without using the term clusterfuck.
If Mary has 6 apples, Thomas has 4 apples, and Gavin has a knife, who has the apples?
X and Y by asking my ex, why?
Animal husbandry, question 1. Do you take the sheep to be your lawful wedded husband?
A-level statistics, question 1. What percentage of you lot are virgins?
If a milkshake is travelling towards a fascist at 30 miles an hour, how funny is that?
Metalwork. Fashion a toast rack. Heavy metalwork. Make a double album about your love of Satan.
Without using the letter C, spell Jeremy Hunt.
Chemistry. Do we have it? Because I just feel like there's a bit of a thing between us.
Panel show host qualification exam. Can you work epoxy buzzer?
Who knew?
If a boy is bullied at school for 8 hours a day and he has to use comedy as a defence mechanism, who's the real loser now, Neil Johnson?
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a gardening programme.
And this is the soil where I spread my seed last week. In fairness, I didn't know the cameras were on.
Well, they look like onions, but they're not onions. They're my testicles.
I got the lawnmower from Halfords, I got the rake from B&Q, and I got the hoe from singlesexybabesinmyarea.com.
These are my peonies, and these is my peonies.
Gardening. All the effort of farming, but none of the profit.
So now that we've filled the hole, let's pop off into town to the pet shop and try and find an identical dog.
People ask me, why do you grow vegetables? And the answer is, I don't know. It's much cheaper in Tesco's, and I could have had a life.
This beautiful rose is just like my wife. Vibrant, full of life. And if you try and touch it, you feel a prick. Why did you leave me, Karen?
Welcome to Gardening with Michael Gove!
As you can see, these blackberries aren't doing very well, and that is because the technology is shit and not compatible with anything.
It's great to have a part of your garden that attracts wildlife.
Sweet pea. Often overlooked, but shouldn't be, as it could be the first symptom of type 2 diabetes.
Well, to be honest, I would dig it out with a spade, but I've never seen a blackhead like it.
Welcome to the Garden of Remembrance. Ah, there's where I left my keys.
There are hard and fast rules when it comes to laying turf. Sod's law.
I keep all my gardening equipment in different places. I've got a hose in different area codes.
Okay.
I got one more.
Oh, one more. Okay, one more, yeah.
There's hard and fast rules when you're laying turf. Sod's law.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Maisie and Ed. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Gamble, Maisie Adam and Ed Byrne. Commiserations to Larry Dean, Hugh Dennis and Jeff Stevenson. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara O'Brien. Good night.
Properly mocked.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joined this week are Tom Allen, Sophie Duker and Ed Byrne, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Oh, new Giacomo catalogue's out.
You think that Boris Johnson's probably being very nice to Jeremy Hunt because he needs his sofa to sleep on.
This looks like the sort of stag do where at the end of it a homeless person gets killed.
But if you look at the walls, they're literally all in a padded cell.
Yeah. Has Boris just won the longest tie competition?
Don't you just look at that photograph and wish they could both be Prime Minister?
I think the pair of them look like offcuts from the Human Centipede.
I am absolutely delighted it's the two of them, though, because Hunt Johnson is what the press have been doing, and a Johnson Hunt is the kind of game that Boris would play.
Anyone have the correct answer?
These are the last two left in the Tory leadership race, and they are Jeremy Hunt and Boris Johnson.
Of course. Thank you very much. I didn't know it. Of course, this is Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt and Conservative MP Boris Johnson, pictured at a hustings event in Birmingham this weekend. The pair are the final two candidates for leader of the Conservative Party to be voted on by party members. Why this week was Boris Johnson's campaign derailed, however?
It's a very odd story, isn't it? So he was having an altercation with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And there was lots of shouting. It was recorded by neighbours, and one of the things that was heard being shouted at him was "get out," which doesn't bode very well for Brexit, because it was shouted about 4 times. He still couldn't do it.
Some people thought it was the weirdest thing. Get off my laptop, I felt, was the weirdest. I've never had an argument at which they said, no, I'm sitting on your laptop. I'm going to sit on your laptop, and that's how much I care about you or your family. Get off my laptop.
The ironic thing, of course, is that "get off me" was also heard coming from Jeremy Corbyn's house, and they eventually traced it to his garden fence.
Who records their neighbours? I mean, for that you'd need a Sony DBX 250 with rumble filter.
Surprised that they called the police. I'd be calling the police the day that Boris Johnson moved in. Boris Johnson moved in next door. What do you mean it's not illegal?
It feels like a very intimate living situation. I mean, neighbours, I've always presumed, they're the flat below. Well, for some reason, I've always thought neighbours side by side. But they're the flat below in this thing. So he's now currently living with the girlfriend
I love this. Dara's doing really well, so he has to explain what a flat is. To
No,
These people all live in the same building here.
Thank you. I've done my time banging, brooms against ceilings. I've done that. I've been that neighbour. I've not recorded it, but I've had strong words with the concierge.
I've lived on my own in a flat in Camberwell, and the walls are really thin. And I used to have one of those Henry Hoovers, because I was lonely, and like to talk to. And I couldn't put it in a cupboard, because every time I went to shut the door, it'd just look at me. So it stayed in the living room, and I used to talk to it all the time. And then one day, I got an invite to my neighbour's housewarming addressed to Angela and Henry. Yeah. It was probably some sort of sugar daddy, because they must have heard me asking if he wanted his bag changing.
Imagine if you turned up at the party with the Hoover as
That would have been amazing. But never mention it. Never. This is Henry.
Yeah. Oh, come in, Angela. Yes.
We're very open-minded here.
Does Henry need anywhere to be plugged in? Keep away from the buffet. We'll bring it all up.
We'll all be gone in a second. Andrew, we're doing a bit of cocaine later if Henry could back away at that point.
It's weird to think of Boris living in a flat. Like, I think the thing that most horrified the Tory membership is that they didn't have a separate wing just for arguments, like with eating rooms and beating rooms. Like that.
Take it to the mezzanine. Not the arguing floor. What do you think of this photo, which is very much the photo of the week, of the happy couple that appeared in the Mail Online?
I think it was taken so long ago, they're playing with a Tamagotchi.
And I think somebody needs to buy them a strimmer for Christmas.
Yes.
That lawn is the very definition of unkempt. As a man who used to work as a gardener, that is an affront to me.
Meadow, meadow.
If it's a meadow, why is there a patio furniture?
It's like 100-acre wood, and she's saying, poo sticks, and he's saying, yes, it does, doesn't it?
But isn't it... The thought is that his hair is longer in that photograph than it is now, isn't it?
Well, he's just had his hair cut, hasn't he, to make him look more statesman-like, but what he's actually landed on is Benny Hill the early years.
I think the Mail just love every grubby little detail. They're like, oh, look at this picture of this busty blonde and his girlfriend.
But who's taking the photograph?
Who
goes on a selfie with someone? He has a very long selfie stick.
Will you just wait in the bushes over there, and at the right moment, I'd love it if you could take a romantic picture of us.
He doesn't need to wait in the bushes. Look at the length of that grass.
How do they know that whatever they're talking about is romantic? Anyway, like, they could be talking about... She's, what, 20 years younger than him? I reckon he's explaining to her who Duncan Goodhue is. He's got a cross between Rebecca Adlington and Matt Lucas. You wouldn't...
How stupid would we all feel looking at this picture if in the background we saw suddenly Theresa May just skipping through those fields?
I told you. Now I've finally got time. Woo!
What did we learn, by the way, about Boris Johnson's car during the year?
It's ridiculous. It's filthy. It's a 1995 Toyota Previa.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And look at that. Downing Street, when he moves in, Downing Street is going to be so different. There's going to be a bicycle chained to the railings. There's going to be an abandoned car with police aware sticker in the window. And every couple of weeks, a top window will open and an irate woman will throw all his clothes onto the pavement.
Far be it from me to want to stand up for Boris Johnson, but I'm a comedian on tour, and that looks all right.
Yeah.
My Skoda Fabia's got crest growing in the bottom of it.
Kind of the same, because I've got kids, like, whatever, and his girlfriend is quite young. They're very messy. They really are. OK, how has leadership rival Jeremy Hunt attacked Johnson?
He's attacked him because he won't debate with Jeremy Hunt in public, and he didn't do a Sky News thing, which, as you say, might be just because the invitation's in his car and he can't find it.
He picked this picture of Jeremy Hunt, whose eyes look deader than that of the fish. It is quite an act to look less alive than a frozen haddock.
Do you know, they've definitely got the wrong size of baskets in that. You're never going to get that.
No.
They've really sprung this picture on us. I'm really afraid of fish. Has it gone yet?
No. Oh, no, the fish is beginning to move, Angela.
There's a weird man at the back who is determinedly walking towards a door that isn't there.
He called him a coward.
He did call him a coward
for not facing him in a debate.
Yes.
Yes, he said that he'd debate Boris Johnson anytime, anywhere. But I think that's obviously an exaggeration. You won't debate him on Saturday Kitchen or Naked Attraction. He's not going to be like, shorts off.
I'll take you on an art attack, and let's see you deal with that situation. I'll have a fish, you'll have a bus. It'll be amazing.
You think about the date that's been set for when we have to leave the EU, and how important it is who the Prime Minister should be on that date.
Yep.
That Jeremy Hunt's campaign hasn't gone with, it's got to be Hunt for next October. No, I think I've just realised why it's not that. Just...
Hunt attacked Johnson for refusing to answer questions about his plans for Brexit, and then came with the hashtag Bojo No Show.
Oh, that'll show him. Bojo No Show, faux show.
I'd vote for him if he changed his name from Jeremy to Easter Egg.
In other words, why have some French comedians come under fire?
Oh, for nicking material.
For stealing material, yeah. For stealing material from whom?
From Jerry Seinfeld, from Dave Chappelle, just basically from English-speaking comedians, and then doing it in French. And to be fair, it's not like we were ever going to go there and do it in French. On you go, mate.
The thing is, they would have got away with it if they hadn't tried to do Peter Kay's garlic bread bit. Garlic bread, surely this is just bread. What is he talking about?
Le pain, le pain, le pain, garlic, le pain, garlic, le pain, quoi?
I've done a lot of gigs in France. Well, I stormed the Bastille.
I don't blame them. It's probably gone on forever. It's our own bloody fault for never bothering to learn their language. That's...
Oh, hang on. I've spoken their language, and I've tried to do material that they do, like, you know, where is the swimming pool? Down the road and on the left. I love to visit the historical monuments.
Is that my famous bibliothèque routine?
Everyone knows it's only comedy if it comes from the joke-producing region of France. If it doesn't... Doesn't come from the joke-producing region, then you have to just call it sparkling wit.
Now we play a round called Boris Johnson and his Chamber of Secrets. This game involves Tom Allen and Milton Jones. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is school. Let's come on that. Tom.
Hello. I went to quite a rough school. I know. Isn't it moving? And it was a sort of school where people would come up to you and say things like, "Hey, you, do you want to fight, do you? Do you want to fight? Is that why you look at me like that? Yeah, you want to fight? Yeah, don't you want to fight? Don't you want to fight?" And I'd always say, "Oh, no, thank you. But thanks for thinking of me." Those girls could be so cruel. And at my school, to avoid getting picked on, everyone had the same of everything. So everyone had, like, the same pencil case. It was a pencil case that was made to look like a packet of Walker's Crisps. And in it, everyone had the same Oxford math set, which was like a tin pencil case, which contained a ruler, maybe a foldable ruler for travel. a foldable ruler, which was great for underlining things, wasn't it? Until you got to the middle. Big bump in the middle. And a set square, which wasn't a square, was it? It was a triangle. And a compass. Oh, I'm glad I learned how to use a compass. Not a day goes by. It's a perfect circle. It's got a hole in the middle, but it's a perfect circle. And, like, when do you even get to use that math set? I mean, occasionally you'll get to do proper grown-up maths, or math, as they call it in America, don't they? But we do it more than once. when you get to things like trigonometry and SOHCAHTOA. Do you remember that? SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. Do you remember that? SOHCAHTOA. That's a thing. SOHCAHTOA. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. I mean, now, as an adult looking back, it would have been nice, wouldn't it, if they spent maybe half an hour or even just like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes going, this is a pension scheme. This is how you fill in a tax return. This is how you mend a broken heart. This is how you tell an estate agent to fuck off.
Thank you very much, Sean. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is shopping.
Those reward cards are rubbish, aren't they? Got too many points on one of them, and now I'm not allowed to drive. It's really important if you buy something, of course, to read all the instructions. I don't know if you've ever tried to fill a baboon with helium. Prit is not the best lip salve I've ever used. I couldn't complain. Southern Comfort tastes nice. Ordinary Comfort tastes like fabric softener. But at least your burps smell of summer meadows. When I was in America, I really got into the culture, so I went into a shop and the guy said, "Have a nice day," and I didn't, so I sued him.
Points there for Thomas. Everybody come back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sophie, which category would you like?
Could I please have some world news?
OK, world news it is. The answer is 10 minutes. What is the question?
Is it the average length of a woman's orgasm, if you're doing it right?
Now you tell me.
Who's bringing down that average?
Is it how long is Chuka Umunna planning to stay in the Lib Dem?
Is it how long will Boris Johnson let you borrow his laptop before he gets really arsey?
Is it how long is too long to put the smoke alarm on snooze?
Is it how long you'd last on Love Island if you tried to start a book group?
Is it how much of Love Island I watched before I realised it was the death knell for all human culture?
Is it how long I was backstage before Ed asked if he could buy some weed off me?
Is it how long can I spend in Lush before I cough up a lung?
Is it how long does it take the average 14-year-old to disable the parental controls on a Wi-Fi router?
Is it at any given moment how far is Boris Johnson from fucking it all up?
Is it how much of my life I've been straight?
Is it how long it takes Prince Philip to do a 30-minute drive?
Is this to do with Donald Trump?
It is to do with Donald Trump.
With how long to spare did he call off the airstrike against Iraq?
That's absolutely right. Thank you very much, Ed Byrne. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many minutes away was Donald Trump from launching an airstrike on Iran last week? This is the news that President Trump called off the strike after being told that it could kill as many as 150 people. What phrase did he use to describe the state of readiness?
Ready Breck, he said.
No, he said they were cocked and loaded.
Right.
Which sounds like a terrible Tinder bio.
Yeah, locked and loaded is the phrase.
He said,
yeah. He said cocked and loaded is just like a frat party.
He actually said, though, he's got missiles pointing at a map of Iran.
Yeah.
You ruined the map.
Yeah.
If the White House nerds can, like, shut down Iranian weapons systems, how come they can't lock Trump out of Twitter?
Yeah.
How do you think they did the cyber attack? Do you think they sent them, like, an email going, would you like your uranium to be slightly more enriched?
I sent you a birthday message.
And they wanted airstrikes. I mean, how would people breathe?
Meanwhile, what's going on here?
Free hugs!
yeah.
Free hugs, everybody!
Oh, look, he's still been holding hands with all his Jewish friends.
Jeremy Corbyn summing up his attitude to Brexit by walking down the middle of the road.
So you're saying, when's the bus due? The Jews ignoring him.
He's really not shaking off this Jew thing, is he?
Did he misunderstand the idea of taking his message nationwide and he's taken it to nationwide?
Is it passers-by pretend it's raining to avoid making eye contact?
Is this the death of the high street?
I spoke to these shoppers. What are you doing? It's raining! It's raining! Come near me. My friend has a jacket on her head.
I mean, it does look a bit Jesus-like, doesn't it? He sort of held himself in a way that's like, my followers, scum. Even I can stop the rain.
And his initials are JC.
Oh, my God, it all points to only one thing.
He doesn't like Jews.
Yeah. Corbyn is in the news because it's expected that if Boris Johnson becomes Prime Minister, he will call for a vote of no confidence just one day later.
Yeah. Now, that, to me, is incredibly dangerous. Because think of the damage that Boris could do in 24 hours.
You think he literally should be standing as Boris goes stepped in front of him.
The whole thing is completely unstable. And it's at times like this, people are looking to the likes of us to make sense. To me, that's the most frightening thing of all. Because I don't have a clue, and I know he doesn't give a shit.
I don't understand how you can do a vote of no confidence against someone who is the epitome of confidence. Like, Boris has so much machismo, he's basically like a testicle sprinkled with some straw.
Imagine how hurtful, though, if somebody said to you, oh, we're going to have a vote of no confidence. Imagine, I wouldn't be able to leave the house. Like, I worry enough about my pocket squares and my ties. If someone went, no, we've got no confidence in you, I'd go, oh, I've got none in me either. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did. I know it's a stupid idea. It's a stupid idea.
It would be the killer heckle, wouldn't it? Just if you're in the middle of a... so anyway, hey, it's good to be here in the club. Somebody said, we've taken a vote of no confidence.
I wanted a heckle saying, what is this?
Yeah, sorry about that, Milton. I was just really confused.
I once had a heckle of blah, blah.
The other heckle I had is, these are just words.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a horror movie.
Here's Johnson!
I had goosebumps yesterday. Well, I am a goose and it was my birthday.
Welcome to the House of Horror. Sorry, House of Freezer.
Oh, so your name's Hannibal and you're a cannibal. So what does your friend Hedophile do?
Hey, guys, it's me, your token black friend from the start of the movie. I survived!
I'm sorry, I've just seen the price of this rail ticket.
They call me Jigsaw because you have to be desperately bored to do me.
Yeah, I've got a sixth sense. It's called style. Who wants to see dead people when you've got clothes like this?
The Return of the Mummy. Oi, come back.
Your greatest fears are realized. Comedians are getting younger and you don't understand any of their references.
It's alive! Enjoy your probiotic yogurt.
Nosferatu! Manchester City won.
You know, maybe the real monster was the friends we made along the way.
So this is the very room where the jazz musician Fats Domino died. Apparently he collapsed onto a family member who collapsed onto another family member who collapsed onto another family member who collapsed.
Now you've had sex, it will follow you wherever you go. I mean, sorry, congratulations on your new baby.
Actually, it's 4G coverage in these woods. It's actually pretty good.
What do you mean I can't buy a zombie? This is the Body Shop.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in a survival show.
No, everyone's dead.
I just love Sleeping Under the Stars. Pavarotti was a bit tricky, though. He was massive.
Nighttime, and most of the gang are enjoying a grilled fish. Nigel the vegan is still foraging for falafel.
And these worms are actually edible and are a really good source of protein. Yet Brian still refuses to go down on me until I've seen a doctor.
You can survive this. Just barricade yourself in the house, board all the windows, don't answer any questions. In 4 weeks, you'll be Prime Minister.
Ben is all alone. He's fallen down a ravine and has no choice but to saw his arm off with a penknife while the camera crew watch him.
And this is the last episode of Survivor because we've eaten Bear Grylls.
3 years I've been on this island with nothing to look at but the sea and the sand and that bridge.
Under these conditions, you've got to sacrifice some creature comforts. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you know that the first thing you've got to do that day is put on wet socks. But, you know, you've got to wank into something.
I'm here to teach you the essentials of bushcraft. You'll need a sharp blade, a mirror, and some diamante pearls for the vajazzle.
All you have to do is put a little string on the caterpillar's head and wait a couple of months. You've got a lovely little kite.
And you can tell when the rare Irish bullfrog is ready to mate by its distinctive buzzing sound. There it is.
Dave is on the beach catching crabs off of Tracy. Welcome back to Love Island.
There is no food here, and there is no medicine. But we had a referendum, and now we just have to get on with it.
Remember, the duck's natural predator is the pancake.
Well, tonight I'll be eating in the bush, which is a first for me.
You don't understand, man. It was the biggest barbecue ever. They had Bear Grylls.
In these icy conditions, your tongue can get stuck to things. That's the last time I kissed Bear Grylls' arse.
I'm standing very still because over 30 feet away there's a huge water buffalo and he's painting my picture.
And at the end of that, the points go to Angela Hewitt Milton. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Tom Allen, Sophie Shaker, commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Byes. Thank you for watching. I'm Darren Breen. Good night.
Hi, I'm Ellis James. And I'm John Robbins. We broadcast a show on BBC Radio 5 Live every Friday afternoon.
It's proved more divisive than expected, and feedback has ranged from high praise to calling us, quote, a poor man's hairy bikers.
Listen to the Ellis James and John Robbins podcast now on the BBC Sounds app.
Hands up if you sleep with a cuddly toy. Oh, my God. Technophobe, yours has got some sort of disease.
No, all the little toys that I've made, like for friends over this, have always got wonky eyes. That wasn't anything to do with you. No.